hands-off training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
KHOW News Time, 10:03.
Colorado is sending equipment and firefighters to help battle those blazes in Southern California. That includes a multi-mission aircraft outfitted with infrared and color sensors that can help tell firefighters on the ground how the fire is behaving and which way it's moving. Unit Chief Jeff Rasmussen spoke with Fox 31.
One of our advantages with the IR, the infrared camera, is being able to see through smoke. Obviously, that's a limitation folks have without that technology, and that's can be a pretty big barrier to knowing where exactly that fire is.
3 Castle Rock firefighters are on their way to California along with a fire truck to help fight the wildfires. West Metro Fire also on standby to send some firefighters and equipment to California if requested. Among those attending today's state funeral for former President Jimmy Carter is former Denver Mayor Wellington Webb. He led Carter's Colorado presidential campaign in 1976 and served as deputy director in 1980. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Verdict with Ted Cruz Podcast.
Yeah, we're still looking at lengthy delays down south along I-25 anyway, coming up out of Castle Rock, eventually trying to make your way up to the Tech Center. Well over 60 minutes on that drive time. C470 is a little bit better, even though the conditions are still ripe for anything. Could be slipping and sliding all the way through Highlands Ranch. Along the foothills, it looks better. Some of the mountain canyon routes, like 285 and even I-70, kind of slow, all dictated by the road conditions, which are partially snowpacked. I-25 south heading down to the Tech Center also is sluggish, as well as the east side of I-70 near Pena. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Ben Ferguson. And I'm Ted Cruz. Facebook says it will stop censoring conservatives. Is it real? What does it mean?
Plus Greenland, Panama, and Canada.
We cover it all. Download Verdict with Ted Cruz wherever you get your podcasts.
There are massive changes in health insurance this year. That's why you need certified experts on your side. You need Integra Insurance. They've helped me for years and can help you too. They look at everything available to you on and off the exchange and get you the best options for tax credits and subsidies. They also help you with everything Medicare. Let Integra make your health insurance shopping simple and smart. IntegraInsurance.com. 303-466-5500. 466-5500.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com. Show the coupon at the pharmacy and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Auto accident? Get the right lawyer on your side. Call Fuller.com.
When he's not talking about it, he's tweeting about it.
See you Twitter?
Follow the Troubleshooter at Real Tom Martino. And stay connected with all of Denver's talk station on Twitter.
Just give me your Twitter and I'll follow you.
Find us right now at 630 KHOW. It's the Dan Kapla Show. Afternoons 4 to 6.
Thursday 4. With the legislature wrestling with this huge budget deficit, you got to ask, why does Colorado perform so poorly when it comes to attracting top jobs and employers? How do we fix that? Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. My goodness, what a snowy day. I-25 was kind of empty coming in, thank goodness, down from Castle Rock. At one point this morning on the news, my goodness, right by the outlet malls looked like total hell. But here's the deal. We are the only show of its kind. We solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. In fact, to the tune of almost $400 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds. And I'm thinking about the times when we get the water turned back on for somebody, or the times we go after the scum lord. And those kind of things really don't have a monetary value. But a lot of those, that kind of help, a lot of times counts more than getting some money back. But we have gotten a lot of money back over the years. It's absolutely crazy. In studio with me, by the way, my beautiful wife, Suzanne. Hello, Suzanne.
Hey.
Who do we have back there? I can never see through the glass. I assume we have Kelly, of course. And then we got Shannon back there, rocking and rolling. In fact, if you join us on YouTube, Shannon is known to tell a few jokes during the break. In fact, I've always wondered, Shannon has been in this building, well, since the building opened.
He's seen it all, Mark.
He's seen it all, but I have always said, and Shannon, I'm going to ask you right on air, you are one of the funniest people I have ever met. Now, granted, some of your jokes you can't say on these airwaves, but even the few you couldn't, my God, how come you've never just done like an hour show, man? Do you just have no interest in it? What?
I'm pretty sure that wants and warrants would be pulled up.
Yeah. You know what? He's probably right. A small background check. No. 303-713-8255. We have lines full right now. I'm going to jump to the phones. Deputy Doc, what's going on, man?
Not much, just dealing with the snow and the weather.
Yeah, it's God, it's crazy out there. Franktown, we got at least 6 to 8 inches. It's absolutely nuts. The drive-in was crazy. Deputy Bo in studio. What's going on, Deputy Bo?
Well, I had a really good drive coming in, not too much traffic. It was easy, and I'm ready to hopefully get a few cases today to help our listeners out.
Yeah, so I'm dealing on one right now. And line 4, when they come up, when you put it up, I will take that first, Kelly, because they held yesterday. But I need to tell you guys something about Arapahoe Kia. They're driving me crazy. I'm going to call down there and try to get through to the service manager. But this poor guy's vehicle has been there. I mean, we're going on, I think, 3 months, and they can't fix it. They threw a transmission at it. That didn't fix it. Now they say they're throwing another rebuilt transmission. That didn't fix it. Or I assume it's not going to fix it. They threw a computer at it. That didn't fix it. They did a wiring harness of some sort. That didn't fix it. If they try to charge this guy for all that crap that didn't fix it, I am going to make the rest of my life talking about Arapahoe Kia. I swear to God, I love dealing Doug. In fact, I was sitting next to him at a Rockies game not long ago, and he's a great man. And I hope he gets word of this if it gets to that point and we just get it fixed, because honest to God, we need to get this guy fixed. The service advisor I talked to in person, I went down there with this guy probably about 6 weeks ago. He assured me if things that weren't needed were put in, this guy's not going to get charged for them. But if you look at the bill still, it doesn't look that way whatsoever. So I'm hoping these guys do the right thing. It's got good ownership. Dealing Doug's been around forever. We've had almost zero problems with him. When he owned Colorado Springs Dodge, I don't think we ever had one issue whatsoever. We had direct contact to the service manager, the general manager. I'm having a hard time making relationships over at this Kia dealer. I'm going to try again this week. I'm just going to show up down there and try to find the GM or the service manager and go from there. Now, issue with the motorhome working with Chopper. I'm not sure what this one is, but
Milton. It's a follow-up, Mark.
Milton, you held yesterday for a long time, so I appreciate it. One line open, by the way, 303-713-8255 or 303 Martino. Hey, Milton, what's going on? What was the original story?
Okay, the original story is I bought a brand new Jayco Class C RV from a dealer in Texarkana because this was it was a 2023 model, brand new, but the 24s are already out. No dealer in Colorado had one. And I was looking to save some money, and which I did. I got a really good deal from them.
What was the dealer's name? What was it? A nationwide dealer? Who was it?
It was Greg R. Marine and RV in Texarkana.
Keep going, man.
And, yeah. Well, the good deal turned out to be a rust bucket. Because apparently this was delivered in the winter, in a snowstorm, and picked up a lot of road salt and matte chloride. This is what I believe happened.
So when it got delivered to you, it was in horrible shape. Why'd you take delivery, or you had no choice?
Well, I listen, I checked it out. Everything worked. The only thing I didn't do was look underneath it. And I will never, ever buy another vehicle, new or used, without looking underneath it first.
Yeah, you know what I don't get? Listen, this is a part. Help me understand this. If a trailer is sitting on a lot somewhere, I mean, it's not going to get mag chloride up under it unless if they're moving it all the time. How do you think, and I don't doubt anything you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out, and then moving it and bringing it from wherever to here, it's not going to be enough mag chloride to do that. So doesn't it make more sense that it just wasn't treated properly, or they missed something when they built it, or it was possibly sitting in water or something?
No, I did, Mark. I did a little research. I checked with the Weather Bureau at the weather on the date this was delivered, and for 3 days prior, it was snowing in Indiana up where the factory is, and it was light snow. So they apparently treated the road, and they didn't have enough moisture to wash off all the salt. And so, and again, this is what I think. I have no, I'm not an eyewitness, but
yeah, okay. But so
I believe it picked up the salt and the mag chloride, and then it sat on the dealer's lot for about a year.
I got it, and it just eroded away. It just rusted and eroded because the mag chloride was on there forever, and they didn't wash it off, and it sat for a year, and it basically ate the metal.
Exactly.
So where are we at now? When you finally, how long after you received it or took delivery did you actually notice the rust problem, and why?
All right. I drove it back home. The first day I filled it up with gas and parked it in my garage. And then because I had a problem with the generator on the way home, about 1 or 2 days later, I started checking out to see what was wrong with the generator.
Got it.
And that's when I spotted the rust.
And it's really bad. I'm assuming anybody that looked at it would be like, oh, my God.
Yes, I had Transwest RV. I had to send a technician out.
I like those guys.
He wrote a really specific report on it. And his comment, and I don't have it in front of me, so I'm paraphrasing, but he says this did not look like a new vehicle. It looked like a used one that had over 100,000 miles on it, and it should never have been sold as new.
Well, how many miles were on it?
Well, when I picked it up, there was only 900 miles on it from the factory.
That can be sold. That can definitely be sold as new.
What's that?
That can be sold as new. I don't know why you said it shouldn't have been.
It was a new vehicle.
Yeah, okay.
And I had pretty much faith buying it from the dealer in Texas because it had the Jayco factory warranty.
Yeah, I got you. So I got it. So now we're here, and I assume you reached out to Jayco. Hold on, I got to take this break, but I assume you reached out to Jayco, and Jayco basically said, we're going to find out after this.
It's a new year, Colorado. Don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Tom did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our house is built in 1986. The paint was starting to look a little worn. I decided I need to give Rhino Shield a call.
Rhino Shield ceramic technology is specifically formulated for our unique climate right here in Colorado, and it's Class 1 fire rated.
Saying we have volleyed the ball at Tiger Run.
I'm learning.
I think pickleball is going to be fun as hell, just because
do you want me to really
there's
see
games
if you can join?
everywhere.
Yeah, if you depends on where you're going to have the class at. If it's
going to be in Centennial.
It's not too far.
Is it the big one or the little one?
The ice arena. I don't know that we've ever been there. They converted it to courts.
I have no idea. Oh, I think it's right off the highway there.
Does it use the same racket for racquetball?
Hold on, guys.
No, totally different.
Hold on.
Different ball, different racket.
Vestera Investments, their website is Vestera Turnkey. They find these pockets around the country that are booming with the economy. And then they go out and they find a house that's ready to rent out. You purchase it. It's your money, your deed. You can borrow, you can pay cash, do whatever you want. But it's your house. They find the right management company that knows what they're doing in the area. You sit back and you collect the rent check, which is really nice. As the property appreciates, whenever you want to sell it and cash in, you can do it. These guys are amazing. We've had some listeners invest $200,000. I should say many listeners, $300,000. Now we're well over $1 million portfolio in real estate. I want you to check them out. Go to VesteraTurnkey.com. That's at VesteraTurnkey.com. Bradley O'Brien, oh man, he is a real estate attorney and he's the best. Residential, commercial, maybe seller financing reviews or looking over your buying or selling docs, property line disputes, fence issues. If you're a landlord, he can help you write the proper lease for Colorado now. Anything that has to do with real estate, Bradley O'Brien, OLSlaw.com. OLSlaw.com.
Mark, my racket is like 20 years old.
I think the pickleball rackets
Doc
are
says
different than racquetball rackets, so,
Oh,
right?
big time.
But, you play racquetball.
Right, but my racket's like 20 years
It's a
old.
totally different racket.
Yeah, all three of them are different. Tennis, of course, is way different.
I hated tennis. I did too much chasing the ball over the fence.
I played it in, I want to say, 9th grade. But I played a lot in my neighborhood with other kids. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I wasn't that very good. My serve was not great by any means.
We actually had a tennis court in my house.
That's
When we
cool.
built it, we had a pool and a tennis court.
Oh, you did? At your house?
Did you use it a lot, Doc?
Yeah.
Oh, the instructor wants me to call. I'll call real quick.
Do you think I should replace my racquetball racket if it's 20 years old?
Yeah, you can get
I'll
one
bring
on.
in tomorrow. I have a pretty good one.
Do you?
I'll bring it in for you, yeah.
I got one at, I got an extra one too.
I think mine is so old, I bet the strings are probably...
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, they get funky.
I think I'll get rid of it.
You can have it, if it was an expensive one, Dan knows a place that'll restring it fairly cheap.
Oh.
If it's an expensive one. How old is
I'll
it?
bring mine in tomorrow. You can see if it's useful.
Okay, I might bring mine in too if I didn't already pitch it. Last time I used it was in college. Well, I played my daughter. She needed PDE credits in high school, so I beat her.
So how many
And I beat her butt, too.
Look at that high school, dude, gone. Look at the before and after. Nothing left of that entire high school, Palisade High School. Palisades. My damn daughter woke me up at 3 a.m. Her boyfriend came in last evening, so she picked him up. He flew in, and she picked him up at the airport, and they're flying out to Mexico this morning, but their flight was at 6, so they're leaving our house at 3 a.m., and they could have been much more quiet.
They could have been quiet, yeah.
How much is that coin worth?
All right, so the prices...
I didn't see that. All I saw was...
You're not carrying it now, are you?
No, I learned my lesson.
Good.
It's in my gun safe. So, Doc, one is $682, and this one's $749, but this one's in pretty doggone good shape.
Oh, yeah. So if you're about $650.
That's what I was thinking. If you'd like to go for $650, I'd like to have it in my collection. Think about it. I'd like the necklace too. I think the necklace is pretty.
Palisades is not just for rich people.
This one's a San Francisco mint. See the S? Yours is Philadelphia.
All right, 303-713-8255. By the way, this hour brought to you by Paul, the Waterman. What I love about Paul is his pricing. I mean, the service is impeccable. They installed a softener at our house, and Suzanne couldn't be more happy. I mean, I love it too, but Suzanne, to be quite honest, apparently a water softener is great for your hair, and she loves it, and I taste no difference in the water, and the system was half the price of the other guys. And then on top of that, now what he's got is unbelievable. He's got a new water system, a whole house system that removes the chlorine. It removes the forever chemicals, and we all know those are everywhere. Removes hard water, and it's on sale right now. This is installed. This is incredible. $36.95. You got to go to waterpros.net for details, but it gets rid of the forever chemicals. That's my favorite part about that. Waterpros.net. Now, this poor guy, Milton, he bought, it is Milton. Milton bought an RV from a dealer, a Jayco, and he picked it up. I think it was in Texas. He drove it back to Colorado. He had it for a while. He had a problem with the generator, so he ends up kind of getting under it, and he sees all this rust at the bottom. So now that we know this brand new unit is all rusted at the bottom, Milton, I'm sure you called Jayco. It is Jayco, right?
Yes.
And what did Jayco initially say? Did they say bring it up and look at it? Is that why you ended up at Transwest?
Well, no, I first called the dealer, and of course the dealer says, no, we're not taking it back, because at that point in time, I didn't want it. It was so bad. And to give you an idea, when I went to pick it up, they had a problem with the power converter, which wasn't charging the batteries. And they had already put a new one in, and that one wasn't working. While I was there, he's got the technicians working on it, and the technician gets out from underneath it. He says, I got it fixed. I said, what was wrong? He said, it was just a bad ground.
It was a bad ground because of the rust.
Yeah, the rust was so bad.
Oh my God!
Rusted the ground wire off of the frame.
So what happened at that point? So where are we at now?
Okay, so the dealer tells me, look, Jayco covers a warranty. Texas has a law. Once you drive off the lot, the dealer's not required to unwind the deal for any reason. So I'm stuck with it. As far as the dealer's concerned, he's telling me call Jayco. They have a 2-year warranty on it. So I'll call Jayco. First thing they said, rust voids our warranty. It's in writing. There's nothing I can do about Jayco.
Oh my God.
Ford Motor Company, their warranty excludes rust, and they even mentioned road salt. So I've got no recourse other than fight Jayco and the dealer. And for 6 months, I went to the...
So you called us a while back, and I think Chopper was assigned. Suzanne, you look like you knew something about it.
Well, I missed a little bit because I stepped out, but I do know it's a newer issue. Like, things are fine now, but he's looking for a $100 refund from the DMV or something.
What?
Actually, more than that.
Oh, okay.
Well, hold on a second, Milton. So what happened? How did it finally get fixed? Did Jayco step up?
I'll try and make my long story short.
Yeah, my God, please.
Okay. Well, I fought between the two of them. I did everything but hire an attorney, and the attorney, because of my age and how much money they wanted up front.
Yeah, that's fine. So the dealer and Jayco, you're going after them. What did they end up doing?
Okay, I went on the dealer owners forum, not the dealer, but the Jayco owners forum.
Yep. And
I told my story. I put pictures. I put a copy of the Transwest, their examination on there.
Yep.
And then I contacted the dealer again, and I found out they had a new
the GM
general manager.
Yeah. So what happened?
This general manager decided, okay, he says, I'm gonna help you out. He says, I'm gonna see if I can't get Jayco to take it back, come pick it up, and take it back to the factory, and we'll split the cost.
Nice.
Well, it turned out that I had to bring it back to the factory. They wouldn't send somebody to pick it up, so I drove it back to the factory. They told me it was going to be 3 days, but it's a good thing I towed my car behind it.
So what did they do, though? My God, Milton, what happened? What did they do?
Well, they put it in their chassis shop. They buy the chassis from Ford, and then they prepare the chassis. Well, they put it in the chassis shop. They got rid of the rust. They replaced all the ground wires, even the ones that wasn't rusted. They put all new ground wires on it. They looked like
they fixed
pulled the drive shaft and rebalanced the drive shaft. Anyway, they took care of it.
Excellent. So they took care of it, And 10 minutes later, now we know everything was fixed by him. So let's go on to the DMV problem. And good work, by the way. Good work standing up for yourself, putting that stuff on that owner's form, because people look at those all the time. I have a unit, I have a Newmar unit, and I go to the owner's stuff all the time to read about complaints or to read about different things. That was a great job, and I'm glad they finally did something. So now where are we at?
Okay, so before I went to the factory, the dealer told me, he says, find somebody local that'll do it and I'll pay for it. And I've had like at least 6 people turn me down. I finally found a guy in Commerce City has done some work for me before. Empire Truck does fabulous work.
Milton, I got to just make you focus a little more, man. So what? Okay. Just tell me what the problem is right now. Like, DMV stole $100 out of my pocket. I mean, what is it?
Okay, well, I went to the DMV in September because obviously I hadn't licensed this vehicle yet because
Understood.
I wanted to keep it.
Understood.
Okay, and in September, I just needed a temp tag to get it to Commerce City. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, they give me the temp tag. They charged me the $100 late fee. They said, we got to charge you for that. And I said, okay. But she says, you know what? Keep the bill of sale and your old registration from the one that you sold in January. It's still good to the end of October, and we will give you a refund from the day you sold it toward the license on the new one. I said, that's great. So anyway, this thing's up at the factory. They were supposed to have it for 3 days. They kept it for
But none of this is DMV's fault, as much as DMV's a pain in the ass to all of us. I don't understand why this is a DMV issue.
Oh, okay, well, I go back there on October 18th. The vehicle's still at the factory, okay? When I first went there, I had both certificates of origin, one from Jayco, one from Ford. And I asked the lady, I said, am I going to need a VIN verification because I had the certificates of origin? She says, oh, no, they got everything on here. They got the weight on it. You don't need to do anything with that. And she had
My God, Milton, I swear to God, man. How can we help you? Why do you think DMV owes you $100?
When I went back to get it licensed, they told me I needed the VIN verification.
Okay.
I said, I can't get it because it's 1,500 miles away.
Okay.
And so when I get it back, I get the VIN verification, I'll go back. Then they look at my paperwork again for the third time and they say, you don't have the odometer statement.
Okay.
All right. So I get the dealer to send me the odometer statement. They gave me a letter for that. And
I could probably just leave the studio right now and come back in an hour, Milton. You would still be talking. I swear to God, listen, I love you, man, and I want to help you, but I have to at one point. I understand what you're saying, but everything you have said so far, and if anybody in this room or anybody listening thinks different, please let me know. But this isn't a DMV issue because you don't have certain things.
I had to go 6 times because every time I went there, they told me I needed something else.
Okay.
Even though they looked at all the paperwork. Then they told me, okay, I didn't get it registered in time, so I don't get any refund.
Yep.
They charged me the late fee. Then they charged me the taxes on it for the whole time I had it from February to December.
Well, of course they did because that's when you bought it.
I know, but it was unusual.
But that's okay, Milton. Listen, man. I'm being so serious here. That's not a DMV issue. The fact that you had to go back and forth is a pain in the ass. I get that. That would drive me nuts too. You had to make 6 visits. It's absolutely crazy. I agree 100%. But they're not going to give you a refund for any of that. And when you purchase a vehicle from the date, that's when you pay the sales tax on it. That's when you pay the registration, when you get your plates. That's just how it works. They're not going to modify that.
Okay, no, I got that, but it was their fault because they told me I didn't need the VIN verification.
I understand that. It was their fault because they weren't very productive every time you came in, or else you wouldn't have to go in 6 times. But trying to get, how much are you looking for? Let me ask you that.
Well, I'd like to get my $100 late fee back.
My God.
Or at least whatever I'm owed from
Suzanne, do we still have an insider at DMV, or did they retire?
I haven't reached out to them in a long time. I'm a little uncomfortable asking for it. It's not their fault, but if you want me to, I will.
Well, just email them and let's see what they say for the hell of it. But, I mean, here's the bottom line. You know what? tell them if they can just look at the file, if it makes sense. But there's no, he wants $100 late fee back. I just don't see it happening.
I don't either.
I think you're just lucky.
Well,
This deal's.
you give me a refund because I did try.
And then let me ask you this, man. How much did you drop on this thing?
Oh, the purchase price?
Yeah, the unit. How much?
Oh, it was $90,000.
So it's $90,000, and we're talking about $100 late fee right now. Why don't you get in that thing? Not necessarily today, but why don't you get in it and go enjoy it and drive it around the country and forget about the $100 for goodness sakes, Milton?
As soon as we get some nice weather, I plan on it.
Well, cool. Maybe Suzanne and I will meet up with you somewhere in ours. But I'm honest. I'm going to have Suzanne email just to get thoughts from it, but I can't imagine this is going to work out. I am so happy, though, to hear. We can free that line up now. I am so happy to hear he got it fixed, right, guys? Does anybody disagree with me here?
I think that's wonderful. He got the rust and the issue taken care of. Because his camping companies are really a pain in the butt. Milton's very lucky. He's got a $90,000 vehicle, and he's arguing over $100. Pay the $100, whatever, let him keep it and drive around the country and enjoy your retirement life.
It's absolutely, that was very long. 303-713-8255. Carrie's got a problem with the mechanic, and Kyle has an issue with Bitcoin. We have two lines open. 303 Martino.
I fell asleep during that.
Got $100.
Holy crap.
I wanted to just reach in my wallet and just mail a guy $100. The MV, that's the way they are.
He's the kind of guy, you see him in the morning, hey, how's it going? And
Oh, right.
20 minutes
How's it-
later,
yeah.
he's still talking.
Yeah, you got your engine running.
He's perfect for RVing. That's what you do. You show up, and if you start meeting neighbors, you just yap like that. He's perfect for that.
That's why I don't have an RV.
Yeah, you don't.
I married
Yeah,
one.
You married or not?
Well, her initials were RV.
Oh, really? Huh. Wow, he was quite the talker. I'm just happy you got this work done. Jayco took care of that for him because they were tired of him probably calling him 10 times a day.
Genesis Total Exteriors right now during the winter. Mark Szymanski's got a deal that's unbelievable. You know those hand railings on your staircase, the wooden ones? He can come in. They can make that staircase look so beautiful in your house. You basically are transitioning from that old wood to this unbelievably gorgeous metal railings. You need to check into that. And the other thing they're doing right now, 2-for-1 interior doors. If your old interior doors are starting to look horrible, now's the time to get them done. Buy one, get one free. 2-for-1 interior doors. Give Mark and the gang at Genesis Total Exteriors a call. 303-679-8509. 303-679-8509. That 2-for-1's incredible on that interior door. Now, Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Brooke can go out and actually find all the grant money and find the taxes to cover almost, sometimes over 100% of a commercial solar product. She is so good at finding the money, it's crazy. I want you to give her a call, but go to redrocksrs.com to check it out. But they work on all solar systems, commercial, residential, everything's in-house. Sales, installation, service are great people. They can work on any system. redrocksrs.com.
Okay, I talked to the pickleball instructor.
Pickleball.
So nice. So he wants to do Lone Tree. Is that okay, Bo?
Where is Lone Tree?
I-25 and Lincoln.
I-25, yeah, I'll come to
Okay,
one.
at 3:00. Can you do Monday? He said
I'll
he
be
could.
here at the show, but
Yeah,
I can drive
we
right
will
over.
too.
Okay, all right.
And then we could go right over there from there.
That sounds good. Does he have a racket?
Yes. He said he has one for you, and it's actually fine that you're alone because he'll just be your partner and get on the court with us. As far as price, so I'm not sure yet. I'm looking at that, okay? So, but are you down? Because I'm going to text him Monday, 3:00.
Monday, 3:00.
Yeah.
The Sporty Pickle?
Pickleball?
Sporty
I'm
Pickle.
gonna
Is that the
learn. I'm gonna
location?
go
The
back.
Sporty Pickle?
Pickle pump.
I've never heard of the Sporty Pickle. Is that a bar?
Yeah, it's a bar with indoor
I wonder why they
courts.
called it pickle. What
Really?
is it?
Yeah, at Peoria and E470.
Interesting.
Not entirely horrible. The owner's a little crazy, but we did remotes there, and
was it
the
fun?
place was nice. Oh yeah.
Did you play?
No, I'm not. I'll whack Bo's ball, but not my own.
Yes.
Hey, and Suze,
Yeah.
huge fan of yours. Don't change. Don't get self-conscious. You look great, but you also look like a woman I saw
sorry. I will have
who
to
was
call you back. I
carjacking
can't talk
somebody
right
in a
now.
Target parking lot the other day.
Oh, really?
I will call you back.
Where were you?
So I look
I'm just saying
like a
security
criminal. Is what
She
you're
ran
saying.
to Target
Security
the other
footage,
day.
Yeah. Did she just run up there real quick, Mark, and came back with a new truck?
Yeah.
He didn't ask questions. He knows better.
Effing awesome. Awesome.
Man, that Palisades just looks like
It's flat.
it's
Look at
rubble, man. That picture they just showed was like, it's crazy. It looks like Vietnam after, a day after napalm and
Oh, yeah.
fires.
There's a burned, crying, naked girl coming down the street. Please tell me
there
you know
is that new scum?
Yep. Please tell me you know that Pulitzer Prize-winning photo of the girl burned by napalm.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like the guy, what is it, TN Square? What's the square called? Tiananmen.
Tiananmen.
Okay, let's see how much it is, because I know it was in here somewhere.
Oh, and Anderson Cooper's talking to him, so of course a lot of softballs.
How come the mayor cut the budget by $17 million for the fire department? Well, right now we're worried about what's going on, so we don't even want to talk about that stuff yet. How come she was in Uganda? Well, listen, she got back quick enough.
Ghana, not Uganda.
Whatever.
Where was it?
Ghana.
Oh, Ghana.
Okay, it's going to be $23 per person.
Oh, jeez.
And it's not at the Sporty Pickle?
No.
Okay.
We don't need to be drinking and playing pickleball and learning pickleball. We'll never learn anything. We'll just want beer.
How long is it, an hour?
I'm going to ask. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
there's
so
beer
excited.
at the Sporty Pickle?
Oh, it's
That's
a
what he's
bar
saying,
and a
it's a
restaurant,
bar.
and they blast classic rock the whole time.
We're not doing that.
So you can be going nuts to Megadeth.
I think we are going to be
Put it
doing
on the
that.
calendar.
Look up Sporty Pickle.
The Sporty Pickle, eh?
It's worth it.
Now I got to
really
look it
is.
up.
Pickleball
Above
lesson.
average pizza.
I'm so
good.
excited.
Sporty Pickle.
They do different crazy sliders.
Lesson.
Now, this sounds like something. I'm
Here we
starting
go.
to eat, drink, and play, then repeat. I like that.
Lone Tree Rec
Oh, check it
Center.
out.
No.
It kind of reminds me of like a bowling alley.
Hey, it's
Bingo.
$23.
Here we go,
for
stand by.
Evo.
I think I can swing that.
All right, 303-713-8255. We have two lines open. 303 Martino. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. We want to hear from you. These fires are so devastating, these flyovers this morning. I mean, it looks like a jungle that had been burned down in Los Angeles. It's absolutely insane. And you realize the leaders out there cut Kelly, you just said, was it 17 million or 7?
Out of the LA County or LA Fire Department budget.
That's just insane. And that happened somewhat recently, right?
And that was a few months ago. And even more so devastating is in 2014, they allocated $7.5 billion for water mitigation, meaning that every hydrant was supposed to be filled in Southern California. And at this point, there's only about 25%.
Is this around where you lived out there or have family?
This is near the coast, so I lived further east.
Okay, gotcha. So your people aren't affected. That's the bottom line.
Well, now my family lives up north in the Santa Clarita Valley, and now they are because the Sylmar fire is actually blowing toward them.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
Everything is now in danger.
That's crazy.
And also, they didn't fill the reservoirs because they were trying to protect some fish.
Yeah, I heard that. Some little
Delta
fish.
It's
or
insane.
something. It's very stupid.
Why? What was the importance of the fish? I'm sure they didn't decide just one day to protect it. I mean, does it make medication for cancer or something?
Yeah,
No, they just didn't want it to be
The
extinct.
Delta smelt. No, so the
Well,
whole
you
thing
throw a
is.
few in an aquarium somewhere and call it good.
Well, the whole thing is that it's supposedly endangered. So the environmentalists got involved.
That's great.
And
I'm sure all the ashes will help the fish at this point.
And at this point, what they're doing, and this is really, really heinous, and this is what's making a lot of LA people very bitter, is that instead of using the reservoirs as they were intended to be, as, you know, a way to scoop up water.
They're bathtubs for the homeless.
Well, no.
What?
But they're now basically aqueducting them out to the Pacific Ocean.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, we don't need water. Get rid of it. By the
So
way,
I have
don't
a
water your
serious-
grass
I have a
today.
serious question.
Yeah.
Kelly, Mark, do you think that this catastrophe, this disaster, is going to change any of the politics in California and Los Angeles?
They're changing already. Just look at the difference in votes last time, Doc. But I think what it's going to do more than anything is drive people out of California. I mean, look at that picture right there. I mean, when you think of rebuilding, you go, oh, my God. I mean, it makes the Boulder fire look small.
Well, and the other thing that you guys have to take into
And there's a ton of
consideration-
people. Do you guys realize there is a ton of people not insured there? Most of them are going to be underinsured, like Boulder. 95% of the Boulderites were underinsured. Listen to this, though. There's a lot of people there because they bought these homes years ago for $150,000. Now they're valued at $3 million. They simply can't afford the insurance. So a lot of people have zero insurance.
Well, and also you have to remember that in California, you're obligated to carry earthquake insurance, which is very pricey. And so some people opt to drop fire insurance because they have to carry earthquake insurance.
It's going to be very sad for people.
Now, just wait, Mark, because in April and May, just wait for the mudslides.
Oh, exactly.
Right. Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. That same thing happened up around our mountain house up in Deckers after the huge fire. What was that? The Hayman. After the Hayman fire, every house basically around us burned down. Our house was left standing. The value of it plummeted to next to nothing. And if you drive up there right now to West Creek, still till this day, it's just burnout. I mean, it's not burnout anymore, but there's no trees. There's nothing. And when the water started coming, the flooding started happening.
I would love to see what Compass says about whether or not insurance companies going to go bankrupt and if the government's going to step in and bail them out.
You know what? That's not a bad idea, Doc, because I think most of these companies, let's take Safeco. Plus, I heard a ton pulled out of California. I don't even know how an insurance company would even operate in California anymore. The loss is crazy, and what happens is we end up paying for that and the rest of the country. Now, we have our own issues with hail and fires, but really, the entire country, think of a place like Oklahoma that really doesn't have fires, or think of a place, I don't know what state does it.
Unfortunately, Oklahoma has a lot of tornadoes.
They have tornadoes, but think of a state
like Ohio.
Ohio, that's a great one. They basically end up paying for all these other states because they try to spread out the cost. But I think a lot of people like Safeco, State Farm, Allstate are reinsured with someone like, Lloyd's of London. So, but that is a great question. We'll do that later on in the show.
Yeah.
Kyle, what's going on with you? And then Carrie, I promise you're up next. Hey, Kyle.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
Well, I sometime back in the 90s, I invested in a Bitcoin deal.
Okay.
And you know, I thought for sure it was a scam to start with, and I didn't really think much of it. Wasn't a lot of money, but I started getting emails about 6 months ago.
You know, I just want to stop you for 1 second. I'm going to take this break, but I want you to think about something during the break, and I'll come right back to you, all right?
Okay, sure.
All right, so here's what I want you to think about, though. Bitcoin was founded in 2009. So I'm not quite sure what we're talking about in the 90s. Maybe you got the dates wrong, but let's figure that out first.
No, I didn't know that.
It's like, how does that happen?
Maybe he just lost track of time.
I think he may be Milton's brother.
I think he might be sipping on Grandpa's cough medicine.
Maybe he's just super.
Did you hear the little bit of slur there?
A slur.
Yes.
I got back in 1984. They took me on a Bitcoin thing.
90. did they run out of water in hydrants or just reduce the pressure?
I love these guys. 888heating.com. If you need help today because that furnace isn't working or not working as well as it used to, or you've been putting off a new one forever, they have all kinds of units. They've got units, I'll just call them cheap. I mean, they're really not cheap, but they're priced extremely low. They also have the most high efficiency stuff out there. These guys really have everything going on when it comes to repairing and when it comes to replacing a furnace and air conditioner. The other thing I love about them, even if your unit, listen to this, even if your furnace is old and having a problem, a lot of these companies, a lot of them will come out and they'll be like, oh, that's 15 years old. You need a brand new, $15,000 furnace. Not these guys. 888heating.com will come out and give you the option to fix it. If it is that old, of course, they're going to give you an idea and tell you, here's how much a new one. But if you want to repair that one, they're going to tell you how much to repair it. These guys are very honest as the day is long. I've known Garrett forever. He's a great guy. You're going to love the company. You're going to love the ownership. Go to 888heating.com. You can schedule right there, or you can call them on their phone there, 888heating.com. Now let's talk about Mitch Floria and the art of granite. How I love thee. He has transformed two of our bathrooms, our laundry room and part of our kitchen, and just transformed them into like a new house. We have quartz and granite depending on what room we're talking about. He just finished our master bathroom, and it's absolutely beautiful. He did such a great job. They got a great line of cabinets and sinks, but the countertops, they install properly, measure properly. They'll give you all different color ideas. And if they don't have the slab or material you want, you can use his wholesale account at all kinds of places to go pick out exactly what you want. Great pricing, great service. Take it from me. These are the guys. TheArtOfGranite.com, TheArtOfGranite.com. Now, let's talk about retirement. Retirement is not just saying, a good advisor isn't just going to say, hey, you should have an IRA and buy these stocks. No, there's a lot of them out there that do that. You want someone that's going to sit down and have a comprehensive approach, like talk about income and of course the investments, but taxes, and then the health care, what are you going to do? And then of course your legacy, someone that understands the Social Security, the different benefits, how to optimize the benefits you work so hard for. How about insurance and annuities? They can talk about that. Long-term care, that's in their wheelhouse. Check them out at rpcenter.com. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, rpcenter.com.
Hey, Shannon, you weren't kidding about the sporty pickle. I just looked it up.
It's awesome.
That freaking looks fun.
I think the sporty pickle looks bad to the bone.
Once we become pros, once we go pro, we can go there to play pickleball.
What is that, a new
Mark.
sandwich?
I did do one water.
No, it's you reserve pickleball courts and eat and drink, but who wants to move around with beer in you? You know,
Marc Mager.
Not only that, I bet they have a certain design cup that you can hold while you play pickleball, a sippy cup.
Attaches right to the racket.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. Actually, the end of the racket.
Oh, it's like
a cup
you
in
can
the racket.
like you play and then sit down and have a meal and a drink afterwards or something. But if I had a bunch of chicken tenders or wings in me trying to play pickleball,
I remember it all started in 1986. And I got scammed out of a Bitcoin.
There's a fair amount of talent there, by the way. It's fun to watch the courts.
I bet it's great to watch, of course. How sloshed do people get? Or are people pretty good?
No, especially we were there until like 10 at night, and they were out of their minds.
They're getting hammered.
Oh, God.
Who do you play with? Just randoms? Or
no, it was usually groups coming in.
God, the sporty pickle.
Yep.
We're checking it out. In fact, if we tell that dude to meet us at the Sporty Pickle. Oh, it's
we have to go pro first.
It's $23 a head.
Whack a ball.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. Or no, he just texted back. It's $69.
Now it's 60.
It's $69 a person.
Mark's trying to make money.
That's your commission, huh? Is it a sign-up fee?
Let's see.
Is this a rec center?
What's that?
Yeah, it's a rec center, Lone Tree Rec Center.
Man, I'm going to have to freaking plow. I got to plow my neighbors. I got to plow us. It's going to be a pain in the ass. And I got to fix my damn tractor.
They'll be there at 3:00.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was $69.
He put the request in for the court.
So we got to be there at 2:30 probably.
Well, he put the request in. He's waiting to hear back that he's confirmed the court reservation.
And we don't need to be a member there or anything, right?
How does that work, Mark, at Lone Tree?
Yeah, when you walk in, you're going to have to pay. Do you live in the district?
No, I live in
We don't
Lakewood,
either.
Colorado.
It's like, I think it's like $5.
Oh,
or-
okay.
No, it's cheap as hell. You don't have to buy like a thing.
Membership.
Yeah. I can always put it, I might be able to put it under Deputy Dan as well.
I went to.
Then we'll get the whatever in-state.
You've
or-
never met Deputy Dan.
No. When did he quit? Or leave?
All right, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. By the way, Frank Duran, the real estate man. You want the best realtor out there in Denver Metro or the Front Range, you got to check him out. He sells more homes. You can find this. It's an easy stat. It's on MLS. He sells more homes, listen to this, in 1 month than most realtors sell in over a year. And he does it for more money. He's going to make you more money on the house. And then if you're buying a house, man, can this guy negotiate. He negotiated with the guy we were buying our Franktown house from, and we got it down almost $100,000. Now, this is years ago, but, man, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. He's a great guy. FrankDuranHomes.com, FrankDuranHomes.com. Now, we're going to go back to this gentleman that just called, and he got some kind of scammed with Bitcoin or maybe just crypto or something, but he said it was in the 90s, but Bitcoin and stuff really came about,
July
Kyle.
2010, I just checked.
Yeah, Bitcoin didn't come out until, well into the 2000s. Yeah. So what happened?
Well, actually, it came out around 97 was when it turned into Bitcoin, but there was digital currencies well before that.
Okay, Kyle, so what's the problem now? What happened? You got scammed 20, 30 years ago.
Here's my biggest problem.
Yep.
Is that I get email after email after email about how they're converting my Bitcoins into US dollars and putting them in wallets somewhere, and I can't figure out, and nobody can figure out how to access it. And all I want to do is get to my funds and get them pulled out of there.
Well, where are your funds held? What kind of wallet do you have? Where are your funds?
Well, I'm in Bitcoin, and
I don't even know what that means. You're in Bitcoin, but where is the Bitcoin sitting?
Yeah, and it's a company called Binance.
Okay, and when you call them up, what do they say?
And there's a blockchain that
I want you to send. Can you send me some of these emails that you're getting?
I can.
Yeah, I'd like to see one so I can get at least a little bit of understanding.
Was Binance that company that kid got arrested for? Is Binance still a viable company?
I have no clue. I mean, Kyle, basically you're saying you can't get to your currency, your crypto, right?
You're right.
Okay, but when you first got it, this is so important. When you first got it, how did you get it? Did you get it through what wallet? Where did you get it? And if we're going back to the 1990s, I'm still going to say I have no idea how that's possible.
Well, I somehow, and it was a coworker.
Yeah.
His mother was pushing this.
His mother was selling you Bitcoin in 1990 something.
Great idea.
I want to see the emails. I can't go any further till I see the emails. So Kelly, pick up line 2 with Kyle real quick. Do me a favor and get that information while I'm looking right now. I'm waiting for you to pick up. Please pick up right now. And thank you. Now he can't hear me. My God, do you guys think he's drunk? Holy crap, I've never heard anybody slur so bad.
Slurring.
And Bitcoin didn't come around till 2009 or 2010. I don't even know what he's talking about. If anybody listening couldn't make sense of that, I'd love to hear from you. It's like, hey, man, in 1987, I was like buying my first Dell computer. It's like, what? Lord have mercy. Kyle, I think someone took you, man. I think someone robbed you of money 30 years ago. I don't even know what kind of wallet. Was there even crypto wallets in the 90s? Can anybody help me with that? Maybe there was.
There was no blockchain because that's what Bitcoin was based upon.
And Bitcoin came out basically in 2009 or 10.
July 2010 it was launched.
And he's in the 90s. It's remarkable. Carrie, what's going on with you? Let's get this started.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
What's shaking?
So this whole thing started back in April. I'm a single mom and a single grandmother raising grandbabies.
Oh, bless your heart.
Both of my grandkids are disabled, so I rely on my car for everything.
Just out of curiosity to kind of understand a little more, why did you end up with the grandkids?
My daughter has intracranial hypertension, and they are unable to control it due to her type 1 diabetes.
Okay,
so,
I got you.
She's there, but I handle everything for them because she's just going through a lot right now.
So what's the issue with the mechanic?
So with that being said, I'm on disability. I was working at the time, and I relied on my car.
I got you. I got a good picture of what's going on in the family. So, but what did the mechanic do? Because we got to go to break in just a second. I'll of course come back to you first.
I took my car to this guy who showed me a certification and whatever. Took it to this guy. He was highly recommended by people in the community. Well, some people.
What did you take it to him for? What was the car doing?
O2 sensors needed changing.
Okay, hold on a second. Now I've got somewhat of an understanding. She brought it to this mechanic. He showed her some kind of piece of paper. A lot more coming up. Hold tight, everybody. 303-713-8255. Gabriel, you'll be up next. He's got a problem with an auto repair shop as well.
Okay, update Bo and Mark. It's going to be at the South Suburban Ice Arena, so it's going to be a little closer for you, Bo, going home at least.
I think she said O2
he had plenty
sensors.
of availability there, but no availability at
Maybe she had to pass some missions.
That's on
who
University.
knows? It sounds like it's going to be a backyard at
it's the
Tree
Ice
Mechanic.
Arena, SSIA pickleball. It's 6580
You're cold again?
Vine Court in Centennial.
6580 what, Suze?
6580 South Vine Street. Sorry, Centennial. So that is
Back when we were in Florida,
we're going to play
we freaking,
ice skates.
I wake up, it's like, I don't know, 7 a.m. We're in Florida. It's like 2 weeks ago. It's like 80 degrees outside.
Let me see where it's at.
The house, all of a sudden, the heat comes on. The freaking heat comes on, and I'm looking at my parents now, and I'm like, is that your heat? Is your heat really on, and it's 80 degrees outside? The damn house is 85 degrees, and you're turning the heat on?
Okay, it's by the Goodson Rec Center.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's where Mark used to play racquetball with Deputy Dan.
It's right down by
off
Goodson.
University, yeah.
That's right, played racquetball.
So we're going to do...
The mall's right there.
We're going to do 3 o'clock there.
Oh, that's better for me.
Perfect.
And then we're going to, after that, we're going to
go to the Sporty Pickle.
We're going to the Pickle!
No,
I'm bullshit if we're not. I love the idea.
Isn't that close to the Lonely
Look
Dog?
at the reviews. They're unbelievable. I mean, this is a real deal.
What do? They have a court and you can have a snack while playing?
A snack, you can have drinks.
Cocktails. Have a Long Island iced tea.
Look at if you go to sportypickle.com, the first picture you see is people cheering shots and a beer.
We're going to go league after we learn.
And let me tell you, if you learn to play drunk, you'll be a lot better when you're sober.
That's true.
You know where I'm going tonight?
Where?
The Sporty Pickle.
Harry's.
The Sporty Pickle.
Harry's.
Harry's.
Oh, Harry's Steakhouse.
They have a $49 special for roast beef.
They do a lot of that.
And I'm taking my son and my daughter-in-law.
Nice.
The 3 of us can eat for free.
When they
if Mark says pickle tickle, everyone drinks.
$49 roast beef.
Yeah.
Fried W.
It's just on Thursday?
The Sporty
Yeah,
Pickle.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I love roast beef. Perry's is wonderful.
God, tell me that guy wasn't hammered, though. There's no way that guy wasn't hammered.
Or drunk.
He's gone.
Well, yeah, he's got to send us something. I mean, he's talking about stuff I don't even think exists.
I looked at this Beyonce.
It's finance.
Yeah,
it's
finance.
still out there,
Yeah,
according to Libby.
But it's got terrible 80%.
How did it start?
When did it start?
When did it start? Finance.
No, it's
Currency.
got 80% one-star reviews.
Yeah.
Say beware of this company. Does it say this company's a disgrace?
Okay. It launched in 2017.
Finance.
Remember, all this shit happened in the 90s.
Well, I wouldn't be holding my Bitcoin here. Huh.
So my question was, do you think they're going to elect a Republican mayor in L.A.
No.
after this disaster?
No.
No what?
No. They
What?
will not elect a Republican mayor. No way.
No, not out there.
Nope.
God, no.
You don't think so?
Well, I don't know, man. This is pretty massive.
There's going to be a new
They just
governor.
cut the fire. I don't know.
No.
No way.
No way.
They won't elect a moderate Republican in L.A. after this disaster?
Kelly, you know how many people told me that this country would never elect Trump 2 different times?
I understand, but what I'm telling you is California is a completely screwed up place.
Yeah, but now they have no home.
I'm just telling you.
Except the problem is they burned all the Republican homes.
And of course, because of the crime out there, they're running around looting. Did you see that?
Are they looting?
Oh my God, the presser,
Yes.
the presser
Yes.
they had, half of it was talking about all the looters.
Yeah, because nobody can carry a gun.
Wouldn't you think there'd be anything left to loot?
No, they're going into neighborhoods where there was evacuations, but the fire hasn't hit yet, or not, you know.
Did he call out the National Guard to protect against looting?
I think the National Guard's helping with the fires. They've only arrested, I should say, about 20 people, according to the presser. I love how she wouldn't take questions on how stupid she is.
She didn't answer. She just was a statue.
Did you see when they got her at the airport coming back?
I heard about it.
Yeah, she just literally didn't open her mouth.
Did she stand in there or just kinda
Stood
walk?
there, didn't say anything.
God, what a great public service.
But that was probably the smartest thing she's ever done.
Maybe. I don't know what you would say.
That's the point.
That's
You know, my
terrible.
mom
You're-
always told me if you don't open your mouth, you can't put your foot in it.
Well, there's truth to that. But she looked like a complete moron.
She is a complete moron.
So you don't think they're going to get a different,
Now
a
I'm
less
gonna
progressive
go to
mayor? Kelly?
I'm going to the bathroom just so everybody knows.
Thank you.
TMI.
Isn't LA next to the ocean? I don't know why they can't tap into some of that ocean water and use it.
Because there's fish they're trying to save in the ocean.
Fish.
Yeah.
Clams.
They're trying to save
Save the clams.
The clams.
Save the fucking clams. I bet seawater would be a good fire recharge.
I can't believe this is going to be a momentum shift in the politics of L.A. County.
God, looking at it should
It has to be.
Well, the
Just
people who
with all
got
of our
burned
insurance
out,
rates
most of them have been talking about moving to Canada anyways.
Now they have no money to do it.
Oh, it's so cheap in Canada. Very welcoming.
Oh, you mean our 51st state?
Yep.
Shannon,
Yes,
apparently there are some lower and middle class neighborhoods that were affected just as much as these, Hollywood stars were affected.
Isn't it amazing how fast we got rid of Trudeau?
Talked about it, annexing the joint, and he's out.
He's gone. He said, hey, I might make you the governor.
There's going to be 52 states, Canada and Greenland, going to be added to the U.S. And then we're going to rename it the Gulf of
America.
I love it.
I love when he gets
Should've
people
been done
going.
50 years
I have
ago.
a serious question. Who names these bodies of water who names the bodies of water?
I'm going to look it up. Who named the Gulf of Mexico?
Might have been that way since before we.
You can't find that. Figure out who wrote the Book of Love.
That is a good question.
Who? Who wrote it?
Who named it the Gulf of Mexico in the first place?
Who wrote the Book of Love?
Cupid did. Didn't you know that?
Yeah. Well, his was the pop-up.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. Oh,
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, try to make your life just a little bit better. If you have any issues, we want to hear from you right now. I got two lines open, 303-MARTINO, 303-MARTINO. And please tell your friends that number. Anybody that you know that needs help. You're out there maybe shoveling today and you find out that your neighbor has a problem with a roofer or something along that, 303-MARTINO. Or, of course, help at troubleshooter.com.
But
That's
if he has a
help.
heart attack while shoveling, don't call us.
Don't
call
yeah,
911.
Call 911. Thank you, Doc. Help at troubleshooter.com. Now, let's see who we got here. We have an issue with a mechanic. We're going to go back to Carrie. We started with her last hour. I don't know how you found this mechanic, but it doesn't sound like it was a shop, Carrie. It sounds like it was a shade tree kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he has a nice garage and, nice tools and everything.
So it's in his house. Okay, so you went over to him, and why did you go there? I know you said to replace O2 sensors, but how did you even know that?
He advertises on Facebook. He advertises on many platforms.
Yeah, but why did you go over to see him?
I went and dropped my truck off. He was going to change the O2 sensors for me.
Okay, Carrie, you're not, I'm not saying it right, so I'm going to say it this way.
Okay.
Why or how did you know or think you needed O2 sensors?
A code reader was used on my truck, and it was telling me that my driver's side O2 sensor was failing.
Okay, generally, I'll get Sheridan Auto Tech on if needed, but generally by looking at the code is not going to tell you. It's going to say, hey, the O2 sensor. Hold on.
My truck is acting up, yeah.
Okay, it's going to say the O2 sensor is reading high or low or not reading at all. But all right, go ahead, Carrie. I'm sure you know what's going on. Go ahead.
So I dropped my truck off so that he can do the work on my truck.
So you went over there and said, hey, I want O2 sensors, right?
I bought O2 sensors ahead of time.
Okay, but I get it, but you went over there and said, here's the O2 sensors, I want you to install them.
Correct.
Okay, so what happened? You dropped it off?
Yep. So he called me back that afternoon because I kept bugging him. I was wondering why it was so late. And he was like, you can come pick it up now, I'm done. And so when I pick it up, I crank up my car, and it sounds like an 18-wheeler. It sounds like a diesel truck running. It's loud. It's obnoxious. It was skipping, trying to get it out of his driveway. And I was like, what is going on?
And
with
it
my
wasn't
truck?
doing anything like that prior, because you did say it was acting up.
Right. It was, you could tell it was something to do, like with the O2 sensor. It was kind of skipping a little bit.
Okay.
You don't understand. This was not right. It sounded like my catalytic converter was gone. It was blowing hard. So I got it to the end of the road, and I called his best friend that told me, oh, meet me somewhere. Let me see what he did to your truck. He opens up the hood. He has spliced into the wiring harness and tried to bypass the O2 sensors. And then he welded a hole in my catalytic converter trying to get out a seized O2 sensor. And that's what was wrong with my truck. The catalytic converter was not connected anymore from where he did that damage. My wiring harness had been cut into multiple times trying to bypass the O2 sensors. And
Carrie, did you get it fixed after this?
I did. I took it. Christian Brothers found out what happened to me because I plastered it all over Facebook.
Yep.
And found that there were like 10 or 12 other victims that were elderly or disabled or
I want to get back to the car real quick though, in your circumstance, not all these other people, but what did they say exactly? How did they fix it? Did they do anything? Replace a wiring harness? I mean, what did they do?
They did. They repaired the wiring harness.
Okay.
They had to order me a new catalytic converter. Sorry. They had to order...
So you probably... Is it fair to say you needed a catalytic converter from the beginning?
No. They said that my other one is fine. I have two.
So...
And there was nothing wrong with the catalytic converter. It's where he broke the O2 sensor.
Trying to get it out.
Yep, and it damaged the catalytic converter.
I got you. And then, so they did a new cat, they did the new O2 sensor, and then they hooked it back up by, you know, putting the wires back together, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And now it works fine.
No, and now I'm having problems with the wiring. Like, I'm about to put it back in the shop because my front blower quit working.
Yeah.
And it was traced to be an electrical problem.
So when you called this guy up, what's this guy's name, by the way, this original technician?
His name is Andrew James Pfeiffer, and I'm not going to tell the business out there for him, but you can just Google that name, and you'll find out there's a lot going on. Like, he's an offender, the registered offender.
Wait, hold on. Give me his name again. Andrew George what?
Andrew James
Yeah?
Pfeiffer.
How do you spell that?
Pfeifer.
And then what is his shop's name? What is it?
I don't know what he calls it, honestly.
Do you have his phone number?
No, he only contacted me through Messenger because the phone number I had for him, he disconnected. He told me I was ruining his daughter's life by putting all of his business on Facebook, and like, I don't know what to tell him. I had to spend my grandson's $3,000.
How old's this guy? How old is he?
He's 32.
How much did it cost?
Is this his mugshot right here? I know you can't see it.
No, I'm telling you, I already know what you're going to see when you find it, because I wish I would have Googled him ahead of time.
Is this his mugshot, though? Is he kind of like, he looks kind of young, kind of skinny guy?
Yep.
Let me see what it says. This is from the Denver Police Department.
Hey, Carrie, while Mark is doing that, how much did it cost you at Christian Brothers?
It was almost $4,000, and they gave me a discount out of their benevolence fund, so I ended up paying $2,800 to get my truck back. And since then, I've had to come up to this courthouse that I'm sitting at right now about 5 times from Longmont to try to get all these papers taken care of.
How much did you spend with this Pfeiffer guy?
I didn't give him a damn dime.
Oh, so so I get it. At least he didn't really steal any of your money. I mean, he screwed up your car big time.
Oh, no, yeah.
But I would love to call him. Listen to this, everybody. This is from 2016. He was 23 years old at the time. Friends, can you help us locate Andrew Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer is wanted for assault, criminal mischief, driving under restraint. He's a 23-year-old white male born on October 8th, 1992, 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Is that this guy?
Yep, that's him.
Man, this is 8 years ago, and he's still up to it. The problem is, if we had a phone number for him, I'd try to reach out to him and, try to get his side of the story. But, I mean, my goodness, I think us just warning people to stay away. What area is he in?
He is in Longmont.
And you said something about, like he's a predator or something? What did you say along those lines?
Oh, you can look that up, too, on the Colorado Sex Registry. Or
He's
whatever.
on there?
Yes, from 2016.
God bless.
Taking advantage of a minor or someone who is incapacitated. He did 5 years in prison. He told me this now. He did 5.5 years in prison. And now he wants to just leave it alone, and I'm ruining his baby daughter's life. He just had a new baby.
God, I wish we had a way to have people just know more about this guy. He's advertising. That's the problem using like Nextdoor or Facebook. I mean, you never know who you're dealing with.
Mark, this is a perfect thing for small claims because even though you probably doesn't have it, well, let me finish. He probably doesn't have any money, but she can go in and take his tools. And
that would be, I mean, this guy's going to have
prevent him from doing it.
I wouldn't throw the $55. The chances of this guy showing up for court, you'd get the judgment.
Already did that.
Yeah.
Already did that.
And he didn't show? Did you get the judgment?
He did not show up. Yep, I got the judgment. He didn't show up.
Why don't you go there with a cop and take his tools?
It doesn't. You got to do a lot more, Doc, to get. Oh my God, you got to do so much to get there. And honestly, if they're a trade tool, I'm not even sure how that works. I just don't know.
Dirt bikes. I do know for a fact he's got 6 dirt bikes that he owns.
Hey, let's do this. I would like to know this. So you have the judgment right now, right?
Yep.
Hey, I want to ask Frank Ball something. Hold on. I want to ask an attorney literally about what Doc's saying. I would like to know what hoops you got to go through. If you got a judgment and the guy simply isn't paying, isn't doing anything, Did you serve interrogatories at any point?
That's what I'm doing today because I have found out. Somebody told me where he works.
Oh, where's he work?
He works at KMG Metal Fabrication.
I wonder if they know what a deadbeat they have working for him. You know what? He's making people's lives like yours miserable. I wonder if that place knows what kind of place they're working. I mean, I'd hate to. They didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I have no problem with them, hiring them. But I'm curious if we should warn them what kind of scumbag, in my opinion, this guy is. Right. I mean, really, this guy has ruined a lot of people's lives.
Regarding our caller, Carrie, if he didn't take any money from her, what is she looking for?
He ruined the car. How much did you have to spend with Christian Brothers?
$2,800.
Hold on. I just want to bring Kevin in this. And Kelly, let's try to get Frank Ball. I'm going to have to take a break right after Kevin, though. Hey, Kevin, just out of curiosity, when you have a code reader and you read that it needs an O2 sensor, am I correct in saying that means there's an issue with the O2 sensor? In other words, could be a high reading, a low reading, no reading, but it doesn't necessarily mean the O2 sensor itself is bad?
No, it could be a ground. It could be the heater circuit.
Could be the cat, right?
Connector. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that was really the main question I had, but this took a totally different turn after talking to her.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy sounds like a total deadbeat. Do you see cars show up at Sheridan Auto Tech where these shade tree rip-offs have just messed them up?
That's just it. And, they don't even rip people off on purpose. Sometimes they just have no clue what they're doing.
Oh, my God, this guy costs $2,600 in damage.
Right. And if he couldn't get the oxygen sensor out, he may have needed a cat anyway.
Yeah.
So that's hard to say. Sometimes we get them. You just can't get those oxygen sensors out. They can weld themselves in there.
Yeah.
Not often, but it does happen.
All right. Hey, Kevin, that's Kevin. He's the owner of Sheridan Auto Tech. I appreciate you coming on for that real quick. We're going to try to get Frank Ball, he's a collection attorney, on to see what kind of hoops he'd have to jump through. This guy's not going to fill out interrogatories. I mean, and if he does, he has nothing. It's going to say, list the property you have. Well, he doesn't have any. It's going to say, it will ask for employment, so it's possible they might be able to garnish, but I would assume this guy's going to have another job within 3 weeks, and then it's going to say list bank accounts. I doubt he's got a bank account. I mean, this guy, people got to watch out for this guy. I'm going to take this break, but I want someone's opinion on something. I want callers. I have one line open, please. Someone out there listening to this situation that heard it. What do you think if I had one of our deputies call up where he's working just to make sure they're dealing with apparently, and we'll make sure about this, they're dealing with somebody on the sex registry. They're dealing with someone that apparently ripped this lady off for $2,600. They're dealing with someone that back in 2016 had an assault charge, a criminal charge. I'd like, you know what? I got his birthday and everything right here, Suzanne. Let's pull this guy's stats. I'd love to pull this guy's stats. I'll give you the birthday over break. Let's see what he's really been up to.
I would like to call KMG and see if he's employed there.
That's the other thing. Is he lying? I don't know, but she thinks he's employed there. But hold on. I want to pull over break, or very shortly during this show, I want to see what this cat's been up to.
I would just be careful about telling his employer. Check with one of your attorneys first, Mark.
I'd just like to see if he's working there.
I honestly, Doc, I have zero worry about that.
Really?
Really.
KMG Metal Finishing. I'm trying to find a phone number.
Joseph A. Lazara, man, I'll tell you who could probably use Joseph A. Lazara is that guy we were just talking about. He's a criminal defense attorney. He's one of the best out there. What I really like about Lazara, well, I like him personally, but he does some stuff like DUIs, flat rate pricing. So if you got in trouble, you're up against some charges, please give him a call. There's no reason to ever do it yourself. Take the money, put it out of pocket. He'll give you a price over the phone for stuff like DUI and basic stuff, but he's going to fight for you. He's going to get you the best deal because he knows a lot of people in the system. He, honest to God, knows the judges, the DAs. You get the idea. Please put this number in your phone right now, 303-429-6600. 6200. Really, Joseph A. Lazera, 303-429-6200. Red Rocks Roof and Solar, I tell you all the time, Brooke knows how to find the money, grant money, and she can find the tax credits. If you're doing a commercial system, there's a good chance she can get the entire project paid for. I mean, call her up, talk to her. It's crazy. Maybe you got a fourplex or a duplex, something along that. I want you to call her up, talk to her, and then if you have a home system or need a home system, she can hook you up. I mean, the best pricing, everything's done in-house. You're just going to love the company. We really, really love her out here. That's the gig. You ready? RedRocksRS.com, RedRocksRS.com. Bradley O'Brien, what a great attorney. Anything to do, either residential or commercial real estate, I want you to reach out to him. Maybe a property line dispute with your neighbor, or a fence issue, or adverse possession, or how about a lien? How about either way? Someone liens your property and you don't think it's fair, call up Bradley. And maybe you did work at someone's home or business and they're not paying you and you want to get a lien on their property. He can do all this. He can negotiate. He can sue. He can do whatever is needed to be done with real estate. And if you're a landlord, my goodness, call him up. You need to get a new lease if you haven't updated it with all the changes. 720-370-7388. 720-370-7388 or olslaw.com. Did you pull it? I'm going to ask you about him.
Mark, you in offline?
Mark, are you offline? Shannon's trying to talk to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shannon.
That's okay. Now, I'm just now learning about this. There's a sex registry. My first wife and I were registered at Bed Bath & Beyond. If I'd known there was a sex registry instead.
You would have used that.
You'd gotten on that?
Forget Macy's. Forget Walmart.
Oh, my gosh.
Is he on there? Suzanne, does he have some kind of
diddle sitch?
Diddles.
With a domestic
Little
violence
diddles.
charge, but he pled guilty to criminal mischief. It's like they pled it down or something.
Mischief.
I don't always know how to read these, so you might want to be careful what you ask me. He did plead guilty of sex assault, submit, force, threat, or other.
With a minor or no?
It doesn't say.
Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You'd still end up on the sex registry.
Sexual contact, no consent. Another charge.
So he's a rapist, basically.
Ugh.
Did he plead guilty to that, or that's just a charge?
He pled guilty to it. And
all right, let's just wait. Let's wait till we come back on.
Registering as a sex offender.
Oh, boom. So he is a sex offender, no doubt.
Failed to register.
Ooh.
I do hesitate.
You're ruining my daughter's life. I'm assuming he's ruining his daughter's life.
Yeesh. Let's hope not.
Theft. His latest in 2022 was a theft of $5,000 to $20,000.
When?
2022. He was charged.
How did he plead?
Pled guilty.
Oh, my God.
And you know what pisses me off is the lady didn't do any homework on him before using him, and now she knows everything about him now that he's effed her over.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it generally happens, though.
I would think just by looking at this guy, she wouldn't let him touch her car.
Hey, Doc, do a little research. How do you get a word into the dictionary? Do me a favor and do that. Because I'll be taking that call, and I want you to have the answers.
Okay, I believe there are editors from the dictionary who sit down at the end of the year and they decide which words are going to be included or excluded.
Yeah, but more or less what I'm saying is if you wanted a word in a description to submit for them to look at, I mean, do you send it to Webster?
Well, let me find out. I will check that out.
Man, what a crazy deal. I hope I never see this guy at the Salty Pickle. Or the Sporty Pickle. Actually, that'd be a good name for a bar, too. The Salty Pickle, wouldn't you say, Shannon?
No, who wants a salty pickle?
The Salty Pickle.
Kelly loves a mouthful of salty pickle.
Oh, man. You know, Suzanne pulled this guy's info. This is not a good guy, man. This lady, Carrie, You got ripped off. Carrie, you got ripped off by a pretty bad dude. I mean, this guy, this rap sheet is unbelievable. You're right. He is a sex offender. In fact, he got in trouble for not registering, right, Suzanne? Suzanne, run down a few things on this guy.
Domestic violence, pled down. It looked like, Mark. I have a hard time with some of those forms I'm reading, but he pled guilty to.
Yeah, what are things he
assault,
sexual assault, guilty.
Yeah, failure to register as a sex offender. Guilty, yeah. So he's not a good
And then
guy.
the latest one was what? It was theft.
$5,000 to $20,000.
How did he plead on that?
It looked like he pled guilty to that.
Man.
So again, those forms are hard for me to read, but that's what I was seeing.
This guy's no good, and this guy's been doing this for a long time, Carrie.
Right.
I hope everybody out there is listening when they go to Facebook and see a deal on a mechanic or a roofer or something that is just crazy. Just don't do it. First of all, go to referrallist.com. That's the safest way. You got a problem with one of our sponsors at referrallist.com. They've been background checked. They've signed our code of ethics. And then on top of that, you can call us right on the air. And we'll go after them. But we don't need to do that because that doesn't happen. Well, I can't say it's never happened, but that's how it works. So, Carrie, I do want to lock you in, though, and I want you to, I'm going to bring up Frank Ball. Hey, Frank, man, how are you been? Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
You know,
I'm good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. This one's crazy. So basically, this mechanic screwed her over. But the question I have for you is, she's got a judgment. She went to small claims, and you have a judgment for what, Carrie? $2,600?
I have a judgment for $2,800.
$2,800. He never showed up. It was a default judgment. How long ago was that?
I got the judgment in May.
She's going to try to serve him interrogatories. I think she said today, right?
Yes.
But I can already tell because of this guy's background, we pulled a criminal record on him. I mean, I highly doubt he's got a bank account. I highly doubt he's got a house. In fact, I'll go out on a limb and says there's no way he owns property. And then, I just think I don't want to say judgment proof. He does have tools of the trade for being a mechanic. He's got some dirt bikes, you said, Carrie, motorcycles?
Yeah.
So, Frank, my question for you. If someone has a judgment and they either and the interrogatories basically just have nothing. Let's say he doesn't list stuff or doesn't fill them out. How do you take that judgment and get a sheriff to be able to go to wherever he's staying and start taking his tools, taking his motorcycles? How do you get to that point?
Well, I think it's one step at a time. First off, in terms of serving the interrogatories, the pattern interrogatories, obviously it has to be someone over the age of 18, not a party to the action. So once those interrogatories are served, that person has 14 days to answer. You really want to go that route first, and let's say they never answer. Then the next step is to do a contempt citation and hail him into court.
Yeah, you ask the judge, you say, hey, he had 30 days or whatever the time frame is to fill these out. He didn't do it. Please hold him in contempt. And in a perfect world, what they'll do is put a bench warrant out. And then if they pull him over or do something else, or they have a really slow day, they can go hook him, right?
Well, yes and no. The yes part is he has 14 days to answer the questions. Let's say he doesn't answer them at all.
Yep.
If he doesn't answer them at all, you say these were not answered. You do a contempt citation. There's forms that you can get. And then there's a date certain. I think it's $60 that you have to pay the clerk of the court. And then there's a date certain that he has to come. And then you have to serve him again with the contempt citation. Let's say he just answers part of them. He answers no, 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 no.
Yeah.
After 37 and a half years of practicing law, really, I think I saw one set of interrogatories that are answered correctly. They're never answered correctly. They're answered correctly if you have a lawyer who knows what they're doing and actually does it correctly. So then what you say is, this number one isn't answered, number two isn't answered, number three is incomplete. And typically what happens is they never provide the documents. In the pattern interrogatories, you have to provide 4 years of tax returns, you have to provide bank statements.
And they don't do it.
and they don't do it. So you bring them in on a contempt citation.
So, well, hold on, Frank. I want to clarify something. So if someone puts no, or if they put, I've got a bank account with $7 in it, but they don't give the tax returns, they don't give the bank statements, and it's not complete like what you're saying, is that contemptible?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
That's when you say, I doubt the veracity of the answer to this question.
Yeah, I got it. So let's go from there. So now the judge does a contempt order. Then what?
Then you serve the contempt, and then they either appear or they don't appear. Just like you were saying a minute ago, if they don't appear, the court is going to issue a warrant for his arrest, and you're going to ask for a cash-only bond, not a PR bond, so that there's some skin in the game by this person.
Yeah.
And then you send that to the sheriff, and God willing, they'll pick them up. It really depends on what jurisdiction it is.
Let me tell you one I dealt with, and tell me why it worked this way, and if it's possible it would work this way. I went after a guy, Jay Lopez, and we helped the woman. I served the guy. I did everything you just said. I served him the initial thing. Then I served him interrogatories. He didn't answer. Then I served him the contempt order. And he did have a bench warrant put out for him. He was doing some criminal mischief in Douglas County, and I found out he had to be there in front of the judge. So I went down there in front of the judge and told the sheriff down there, they're in the same building. I said, look, this guy right here has a bench warrant in Denver. Why don't you guys just pick him up? And they weren't going to pick him up. They were extradite him or whatever you want to call it. They weren't going to do it till I got on the air and started telling everybody Douglas County's not doing anything. But long story short, they did do something. He got brought down to Denver. The bond was like $3,500 or whatever the judgment was for. But after 15 days in the pokey, the judge let him out. So he never ended up paying this person. So does that happen a lot of times as well?
Okay, well, two things. First off, like I just said, it depends on the jurisdiction. Denver's backed up. I recently talked to the sergeant in Denver, and they're not picking anybody up. They have too many felonies that are violent that they're going to do, and they're not going to do anything. However, if you have a situation in Adams, they will. Outlying counties, they will. So it really depends where you are.
I got you.
Then it's a matter of what happens next. So the other thing is, for example, let's say you have a $5,000 cash-only bond. That's what the judge said. The sheriffs don't really give a damn.
Yeah.
Take it back. I don't want to say anything negative about the sheriffs. They're too busy.
I got you.
Violent criminals.
Yeah, I got you.
So they're going to reduce it to a PR bond and give them a date and let them out.
And then, of course, a guy like this probably won't show again. I mean, he's a registered sex offender. They've already got him for not registering. I mean, this guy, to me, just looks like the scum of the earth.
It's persistence.
Yeah.
It's persistence. I've built my career on persistence.
I bet you have.
A guy who chased somebody once from when he was 37 to when he was 58.
And finally got him.
$1,000, and I got $15,000. Obviously, my client was very happy.
Think of that as a business owner forever, including now. What's crazy about that, I'm thinking the economical side of your business. I know, like personal injury attorneys, generally they're collecting 2 years after the case. In your case, your cash flow, oh my God, there's times you have to be, like you just said, you're waiting 20 years to get paid, man. That's crazy.
Hey, Frank,
one other thing that I want to make sure I explain.
Sure.
If they show up at the contempt citation, that's where you work the deal. That's where you want to do a stipulation that he owes $2,800. He's going to pay $200 a month starting on this day.
Whatever it is.
Full plus the interest. But because that way you can bring him in at a later point in time for violating the order of the court. But this way, at least, if there's an agreement between the parties, sometimes that makes a difference. He's committed to it, and he'll call and say, hey, I can't pay you $200. I can only pay you this much money, $100, and I'll pay you $100 in 2 weeks. I mean, that way you've got a fighting chance to continue opening that communication, whether the guy's a scumbag or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen.
And you might get something.
You bet. Something is better than nothing.
Let me circle. I want to circle back
with
you.
my question.
Go ahead.
How do you go about, if he has no money, taking his tools because
that's exactly what I want to do is circle back to that, Frank. So let's say this guy follows the same pattern he generally does and doesn't show up for anything. How do you finally get to the point, or is that just a fallacy? In other words, it's like a myth. How do you get to the point where you can go grab his toolbox, go grab his motorcycles?
Okay. It really depends. Again, after 37 and a half years, I've never done one attachment action. And the reason is because I don't deal with people who have paid up Mercedes-Benz.
Got it.
Okay. And that way,
I got it.
There's a problem. You have to store it. You have to auction it. You have to jump through a million hoops right away. And sometimes the costs involved are more than the money.
So it really is. There's a way to do it, but to go through all those hoops to show up and grab a guy's, used toolbox and whatever's in there, it probably just doesn't even make sense economically.
Tools are different than motorcycles or cars. Tools, there's an exemption.
I knew it.
Amount of dollars for his
work.
Living.
I said that to her too.
And also cars, there's also an exemption. But if he's got a 2022 Dodge that's paid for, a pickup truck that's a 2,500 that's worth $40,000.
He doesn't.
But it's just there you go. The problem is that's really not.
Yep.
You have to deal in reality. And so the answer to the question is persistence.
I understand.
What you do is you keep them on the leash. You keep them. You reset the date of the contempt citation. When I was a divorce lawyer, I did a trial a week for 15 years, and I did 100 guardian ad litem cases where I made recommendations on custody and parenting time. And when people didn't want to pay the child support, I didn't want to put them in jail because if I put them in jail, they'd never pay.
Yeah, of course.
So what I do is I'd say, hey, let's continue it out. You're going to pay your $400 a month. We're going to kick it down the road for 6 months. And as long as you pay, we're going to kick it down the road.
And you're holding the jail. You're motivating them. I got to go to break though, Frank, but you're motivating them as well by hanging that carrot of jail over his head. By the way, if you're in business out there and you've got valid collections or need help with them, Frank Ball is not only a collection guy, but he's an attorney. He's great at what he does. 303-629-7000. Carrie, I do want to have some thoughts with you after this break, though, because I agree with what Frank said, but I want to talk to you about it right after this. Then Paul, Gabriel, Gary, you guys hang tight. I love Frank.
Frank's an old timer.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah, I think
I knew that with tools, though. I knew there was something really strange. And this guy owes nothing else.
Yeah, and I called this KMG metal place in Longmont, left a message, just asked if he's employed there. It sounds like a small welding shop.
Doc, he's getting ready to do a spot.
.888heating.com. Boy, here's the day today. It's cold out there. It's going to stay cold for a while, and it's going to get colder. If that furnace isn't up to snuff, you need to call these guys. They're going to come out, and I always say this, they give you all the options. That's what I love about Garrett and the gang at 888heating.com. They've been around a long time in Colorado. They're as honest as a day is long, and they'll give you the option. Even if that furnace is, 20 years old, 15 years old, they're not going to say, hey, you need a brand new $10,000 furnace. They'll give you all the options. They'll tell you how much a new furnace is. And they have different efficiencies in all their equipment. You can get some really high-end, high-efficiency furnaces from them. On top of that, you can get some lower-price stuff. But they'll always give you the option to fix it. You got to write this number down, 888heating.com. 888heating.com. Sheridan Auto Tech, Uncle Kevin, he was just on with us last hour. He runs Sheridan Auto Tech. He's the owner. Listen to this. 3-year, 36,000-mile guarantee or warranty on everything they do. I love that nationwide warranty. On top of that, they can do everything the dealerships do. They do it quicker. They do it better. It'll never void a warranty if the vehicle's still under warranty. They can maintain your car. They can do the flushes, the AC service, alignments, alternators, brakes, you name it. They can do it. SheridanAutotech.com. Tell Uncle Kevin Mark sent you. SheridanAutotech.com. I did.
11:45 instead of 11:30.
Oh, I'll just switch them.
Okay.
I'll just switch those spots around.
Switch them over. Switch them over.
Yeah, this Pfeiffer guy, man.
I think she's lucky she got out of there without being assaulted herself.
God, what a guy, man. He was on the lam for a while. That's why he ended up on the Denver Police Department's Facebook.
Mm.
This is back when Denver would actually do stuff, man. 2016. Friends, can you help us locate Andrew Pfeiffer? Assault, criminal mischief, driving under suspension, associated with an apartment at the 5900 block of West Hampden Avenue. 23 years old. Criminal history includes criminal mischief stemming from a domestic violence incident.
Ooh, mischief. I bet this KMG metal fabrication doesn't know.
You know what I like doing around Halloween is putting a fake sex offender sign in a neighbor's yard.
And they wonder why no one's getting candy. That would be brutal, man. Or why wait for Halloween, right?
Well, more foot traffic.
Yeah. That's funny.
Especially from the target audience. Target demo.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
Just thinking of this guy. I mean, he's a bad guy. No matter how you look at it, he's a bad guy. I'm shocked he's allowed to have a kid.
Kind of hard to prevent that.
No, that's true, Doc.
Okay.
You ready for some breakfast, Doc?
What did I go?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, you on a diet?
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm just going to try and cut out just for today. Because
Well, bring it in tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
If there's
so you know
room.
what's crazy? You need a license to open up a barbershop. Or
Do we just ask him, are we just going to go over to his?
Or do somebody's nails. But you don't
Tell him to give us a little heads up.
Yeah.
Say, Mark, put it very bluntly. I want a heads up. I mean, what are we talking about? Give me a subject matter. God, I can't. That place looks like just an inferno. 17. Oh, my God. 17, 18, 19, 29, like 30,000 acres, if not more. Is Trump going to the funeral today? Anybody know?
Yeah.
He did go.
Of course. How can you not?
That's got to be some awkward stuff, man, when they all get together.
Obama did. I didn't see him there, but I wasn't.
Why were awkward for food?
I would think Obama would
He
go,
was
wouldn't you?
shaking hands with Pence.
Being a Democrat.
Trump shook hands with
Why would it
Pence.
be difficult for Trump?
Oh, just how they all hate each other.
Yeah, but he's an ex-president. It's incumbent.
And there's
upon
great
Trump.
it's working,
backing it
I
up
want to hear
with Obama.
I think it's totally incumbent on Trump to be there.
Oh, yeah. It looked great.
I mean,
It
he's
was
a past
great.
president.
He was definitely there. He was in the second row.
Yeah, but he's got to be there.
It does. Yeah, okay.
I want to know how Biden got through.
It looked great. It was former presidents getting together.
It is
It
what
looked
it
great.
is.
Well, maybe he did what he did yesterday.
Are we going to head over there?
He's
Yes,
just
he
said
had- He was reading from a piece of paper about, which is really smart.
You did it good. Get it in front of him like that. All right, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. We want to hear from you. We've got a lot cooking today. I want to finish up with Carrie real quick. Carrie, here's the bottom line. I love what you're doing. Stay persistent in it. Go serve them the interrogatories there at work and stay on it. Then you understand what Frank said. If he doesn't answer them in 15 days or he doesn't complete them properly, when you bring them back to the judge, you're going to basically say, I would like a contempt order because he hasn't answered them or he hasn't provided his tax returns or whatever the interrogatories are asking for. And then get the bench warrant out, and hopefully this guy gets picked up at some point.
And I would say, what Frank was saying about tools, if it's his job, it's one thing. But either he admits it's his job and he's not paying taxes, or it's not his job.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to go down that route of grabbing his stuff, Doc. Frank made that sound almost impossible.
Because it was his job.
Well, no, I mean in general. He said in 38 years, he's never gone after property.
Okay.
I mean, it just sounds, it sounds like there's a ton of hoops to do and a lot more court filings and a lot more. But I would just get that bench warrant. Then if he gets picked up, which he will, he's going to get picked up for something. They're going to see the bench warrant, and then whatever that judgment is, they're going to have a cash bond for. You get it?
Right.
Mark, I have a suggestion for Carrie.
Go ahead.
Since this guy doesn't have anything and you can't really get it, you can't get his tools, and you have to go through all of this brain damage of the interrogatories and the contempt citation, what I would consider doing is since you have a valid judgment, is I know a couple of very good collection agencies. You could just turn the judgment over to a collection agency.
Frank, that's what he does. Who we just talked to.
Would he do for the $28 fee?
No, not for a $28 fee, but I like what she's doing because I think the only justice she's going to get, to be quite frank, is to see his ass in jail on a bond. I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, jail versus getting paid. But
if he's in there on the bond and wants to get out, he's going to have to pay.
He's got to pay the $2,800.
He's got to pay the $2,800.
Doesn't that go to the court though?
No, that goes right to her.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes right to her, Bo. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it on two parts. You knock this part out, get it to the point, Carrie, where he's got a warrant out for him, a bench warrant for the $2,800, so that's sitting there. Then go to a collection agency as well. But I just love what she's doing as far as sticking to him.
She has been doing very good.
You're our kind of person, Carrie. You're just doing the right thing. You're going after the scumbag, this convicted sex offender, this convicted thief, this convicted everything. You're going after him. And that's it. Carrie, I do appreciate all that information, and I hope a lot of people are out there are listening to the very first part of this, where she got this guy from, Facebook Marketplace. And I'm not saying there's all bad companies out there, but my God, do some research.
Okay, now you're going to do the 11:30 spot.
Terrible.
Okay?
Yeah, did he give any...
No, I'll show you when you're done with your spot.
I can't believe he hit me with that now.
Anybody who hires somebody off of
Facebook or
Craigslist next door,
or Craigslist. I heard a tree trimmer off next door, and I regret
badly because this woman probably was looking to have it done cheaply, and she has no money.
I think she's lucky she didn't get assaulted by the guys. I think she should just stay the hell away from him. He's a bad apple, bad dude.
Is Kerry still on the line, Kelly?
Hold on. No.
Oh.
Gravina Windows and Siding. Man, these guys are great. In fact, their website is gravinawindows.com. We've all heard the commercial. Gravina! These guys have 50 different lines or over 50 different lines of windows. They have windows for fix and flips. They have windows for $10 million homes. They have 20 different manufacturers they deal with. They have the right window for you. That's the bottom line. Their service is wonderful. Their pricing is wonderful. And it all started back in 1988. That's when Gravina Windows and Siding was founded. just give them a call. Almost 150,000 successful projects so far. These guys are absolutely a great company. They're here to stay. In fact, Nick will be in studio with me pretty soon. 303-472-8462. 303-472-8462 or GravinaWindows.com. Now, Art of Granite, I talk about Mitch Floria all the time. You know, right now, you can actually get a quote over the phone for your new countertops in your kitchen or bathroom, wherever you need them. And if you need new cabinets, whatever you need, they can give you a quote right over the phone. He has done multiple projects at our house. Mitch is a wonderful, great guy. He's one of the best fabricators I've ever met in my life. He stays on top of every project. TheArtofGranite.com. That's TheArtofGranite.com. TheArtofGranite.com. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, think about that coin, Doc.
I will.
Be a nice thing to have in my collection. Now, did that belong to your mom, your aunt, or grandmother?
What?
Did that
my mom.
And she wore it, right? She
Yeah.
wore that around her neck,
Yeah.
huh? I think that's really cool.
Well, it's an old lady's chain, you know?
Yeah, from something like that.
A
Victorian. A brooch.
Do people still wear brooches? You wear a brooch?
Nancy Pelosi wears a brooch. She's an
Does Hillary support a brooch? Brooch. So we had a drunk.
Just a little pendant, brooch thing. They're pretty.
We had a drunk caller. I wanted to ask our YouTube audience something.
Is it poll time?
I'm going to put a poll up about.
It's been a while since we've had a poll.
And you did call and leave a message with. Here's the problem with getting him fired. The problem with getting him fired is then he's not going to have money. But I'll tell you, man, if I was the employer, I would want to know who I'm dealing with, especially on the theft charges.
Mark, I was innocent about it. I just asked if he was employed there because I had to.
The sex isn't that bad, especially at the Christmas party.
He worked on my car.
Yeah, and
that's pretty good.
Because I want to encourage.
Saver, a $78 charge to an Anthony's Thornton, but it was
Pizza.
over Christmas. Do you remember?
It's probably when we drove. Well, I don't think we had that much there, though. We only had lunch. Thornton. Anthony's Thornton. I was thinking Anthony's Colorado Springs. No, Anthony's. Oh, no, I paid for pizza. For Car Friday, whenever.
Yeah, but that was out in Thornton,
It was
Colorado.
like a week ago or whatever.
Oh, well, it came through on the 28th.
I don't know. I mean, I paid for pizza 1 week for sure with Jeff and Kevin.
Yeah.
Actually, ask her. I got to do something on here. Ask Kelly if she charged my card that day or did it end up going through Jeff's. I don't know the answer.
What day was it?
Well, the problem is literally it was charged 3 days after Christmas.
That's my whole point.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense then. But it says Anthony's.
It says Anthony's.
Well, how did you guys buy?
Well, look up what that is.
How did you buy pizza?
It's
on
Anthony's
that Friday?
Pizza.
Yeah, but that was on the last Friday we had the show. Was the
that you had the show? What about when?
Oh, it's on the
in?
20th. Why would it post on the 28th?
Do I have any time coming back?
A little. We're excited to see what you do with it.
That's the only thing that's confusing.
So I did all right catching up.
Yeah, all right. Nothing horrible. Nobody hurt.
Okay, did you get the new address? He's trying to make it a little closer since we live in Franktown. So it's going to be at County Line and University. Both.
What's County Line and?
I emailed you the new address.
I got
It's not
it.
going to be by Goodson Center now.
What was that guy's name? Anthony? What was his name? No, you just said Anthony.
Pizza. Anthony.
Not the pizza. What was the bad guy's name?
And
Pfeiffer.
I don't care about his
Andrew
last name.
Pfeiffer.
was trying to get a poll up over break on our YouTube channel. I'll get it up over the big break coming up. But I really did want people's opinion on something. So if you go to youtube.com, type in Troubleshooter Network, you can see the show, behind the show. 303-713.
Real quick, Mark.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Kerry, if you're still listening, if you need help with any of the court fees, I know you're struggling. Just call the show and I'll give you the money for the filing fees and whatever you need.
That's really nice of you, Doc. I mean, very nice. A lot of people don't realize this, but Doc does a lot of that behind the scenes. 303-713-8255. 303 Martino, who's been waiting the longest. Gabriel. What is going on? Nichols Audio Repair. What is that?
Hey, Mr. Martino. Actually, it's Nichols Auto Repair.
Auto repair. Okay. Keep going. What happened, man?
Sir. So they're a mechanic shop. It's an actual shop. Been around for a while, I think. I don't think the original owner still owns it. I think some person who got it, his name is James, and I'm not totally sure about this. One of the guys working there told me to say he purchased it from a previous person.
How long ago do you believe they purchased it? Do you have any idea?
I have no clue.
All right, so what happened? You brought your car there?
Yeah, I have a Silverado. So I started a small electrical contracting company in 2023 March. So it's a grind, right? So the vehicle that I bought to his shop was my workhorse, my only one.
Sure.
And so I took it in there because I had a service 4-wheel drive message pop up on the control center. And that message, when I took it to the dealership, they said I needed a bunch of stuff, cost a bunch of money. And
how much did the dealership quote you for everything, out of curiosity?
I think it was over $5,000.
Okay.
So, and Nichols was a neighborhood shop from where I was living.
I get it. So you brought it over there. They looked at it, and I assume they did some work. Is that part correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, I got you. I got to take this break. I promise you're the next button I hit coming back from this. 303-713-8255. One line open, 303 Martino.
And I got the answer on the dictionary.
Oh, excellent.
Nichols Auto Repair. Looking it up.
Yeah, they're making fun of me. I put a poll up with nothing. It just said yes or no. Okay, hold on. Let me redo the poll. Goodness gracious. What was his name, Andrew?
Andrew Pfeiffer.
You know, you could simply just, someone could drop in the mail his criminal record and just send it to the place.
Yeah, I have. They're in Longmont.
I don't think that. I kind of disagree.
Well, there's two schools of thought. One, if he doesn't have a job, he can't pay, but the guy never shows up to court, never does anything. And if that was me, if I was running the 5 stores, yeah, I'd want to know of an employee like that.
I would too.
But I would, because I would have already done a background check on him. Hey, the people, not everybody, but someone that put no, for example, would you type in your logic behind that, if you don't mind showing everybody you're one of the people? What's the no? What's the logic behind it? I mean, I look at it two ways. If you're an employer, you would want to know. If you don't know. And you know what? The sex stuff and not registering and the domestic and all that stuff is one thing. You know, maybe he has changed. I have no idea. But very recently, after COVID, post-COVID, the guy stole like $5,000 from somebody. And we don't know if that was an employer. We don't know what that was.
Told you mine. There it is.
Oh, you put it up? Let me see. Maybe.
Okay, I got to create an account to pay. Log in, create an account. Did you ever have a South Suburban account?
I don't think. No, I always just went with Dan or Kaminsky.
Okay.
Because they both live in district. They did. You already looked. Douglas didn't have anything, huh?
They didn't, that I could find, but I'm gonna.
Well, I could go either way on that. I really could.
Could go either way on what?
Just on this guy. I
Okay.
just.
I thought you did pickleball lessons. I'm like, wait a second here.
No. I just. I don't know. We're not going to do it, but. God, I could go either way. I almost feel like if I'm saving the owner of this company from getting ripped off.
Yeah, but maybe they should take his daughter and put her in foster care.
That's even a more aggressive look at it, Doc. I mean, holy crap, who knows what's going on there?
Yeah. We'll have Family Protective Services do a welfare check.
Okay, here. 2, 3, 4.
Uncertain of how many have died. Jeez, that's scary. God, look at that place. It's Apocalypto.
Yep.
That was a great movie. Did you ever see that?
Apocalypto?
God, was it great.
You mean the one with the Mayans?
Yes.
Oh, awesome movie.
Wasn't that one of the best?
It was great.
That whole scene where they're just cutting the heads off and they roll down the pyramids and the little village and the game they played where they would run and they were so good with the arrows.
And when they take the heart out.
They got lucky as hell, man. And then, you know what I really loved was the ending, Doc, when they look out in the sea and who shows up?
But the ships.
All the ships. Like, your life is changing right now. We've been on those pyramids, Suzanne and I, back years ago. We've been there numerous times, even with the kids. But when we first went, you could actually climb them. Now they don't let you climb them anymore.
It reminds me of one of my favorite books, which is Guns, Germs, and Steel.
I haven't seen that or heard it, read
This book is this professor who is doing some ornithology research in New Guinea. He's walking along. He has a guide to help him find some birds of paradise. And the guy turns to him and says, "You know what? How come you guys have all this stuff and we don't? How come you guys have planes and boats and all this shit? And all we have are bows and arrows?" And he said, "That's a good question." So he does all this research
to figure out why.
And he comes up with these incredible research of why all this happened that has to do with climate, geography, history, culture, all these things to explain why. Let me give you an example. Why wheat is such a ubiquitous product. If you look at Europe, all of the European countries are in this band geographically. If you look at Africa, it's separated into North Africa, which is basically desert, and then Lower Africa, which is rainforest. So you can't have the same crop
Not at
in
all.
all the different cultures.
Yeah.
Whereas in Europe, Portugal, Spain, France, all of these countries have exactly the same geography and climate.
So that's why they're all similar.
That's why, and also they were able to there were no domesticated animals in Africa.
None.
And being able to domesticate animals is a huge thing for advancing your civilization.
Of course.
So all things like that, it was just incredible. And even writing. How come Africans don't have written languages?
Yeah. But that was his whole deal. He did research on all of that. How come over in this certain area, literally there's tribes still in the jungle, and then you go to New York City.
Right.
I mean, my God. And the people have been around the same amount of time, maybe even longer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is interesting stuff, actually.
I called KMG Metal Fabrication. The owner let Andrew Pfeiffer go.
Afternoons 4 to 6.
Thursday 4, with the legislature wrestling with this huge budget deficit, you got to ask, why does Colorado perform so poorly when it comes to attracting top jobs and employers? How do we fix that? Join me at 4.
tough, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the only show of its kind. I hope you're staying warm today. We are here in studio, but we are here to help you, whether you're warm or cold. 303 Martino, you can join in now. I got one line open, and I got a little update to say in a second, but on top of that, you know, over $300 million we've recovered in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds directly due to this show. You know, Tommy Boy's been doing it 45 years just here in Denver. Longest host on the airways with the same show. That's pretty remarkable. Here's the bottom line, though. If you need help, one line open, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. And please always feel free just to email us at help@troubleshooter.com. We want to help you. Now, speaking of help, we had a caller last hour that's going to serve interrogatories to a bad guy. The guy's name is Andrew, and he is a bad guy. He basically did $2,600 or $2,800 worth of damage to her car, and she got a judgment. Now she's got to serve interrogatories. And for people that don't listen to the show all the time, basically what that is, after you get a judgment, you got to get paid, so you got to know where the money is. So you serve them interrogatories, and it asks for all kinds of financial information. Do you own property? What property do you own? Different bank accounts. Pretty much you name it, it listed there. So she was literally going to serve him today at what she thought was his employer. And what was it called again? Who was the employer?
The KMG Metal Fabrication.
So
in Longmont.
Yeah, we basically just called over there to see if he still worked there. And what'd you find out when they called you back over break there, Bo?
The owner was very nice, called me back, said he just didn't work out, wasn't doing a good job, and he fired him 3 months ago.
Got it.
And he said he would try to dig up his cell phone for us.
You know, I just want to warn people out there about this guy. This guy is not a good guy. This is the kind of guy we just want out of Colorado. Honestly, I mean, go to Kansas, go to New Mexico, go to now I got a daughter in Wyoming. Don't go to Wyoming. Go somewhere else, bro. I mean, really, we don't need your type here, Andrew. I'm still looking at this mugshot of him. This is going back to 2016. Assault, criminal mischief, driving under restraint. He had a domestic violence issue. He is a registered sex offender. He's been in trouble for not registering. I mean, this guy's bad news. And he's got a kid, I guess. I'm shocked that our system allows people to have children that, you know, basically break all these laws and have to be a registered sex offender. Imagine that. Imagine being his kid. I assume, like, a lot of times you can't even have friends over. I mean, I don't know how that works. It's just a bad deal. But he advertises all the time on Facebook Messenger as, you know, basically a shade tree mechanic. And he's just not a good guy. Andrew Pfeiffer. He's probably about 33 now. About 30, maybe 31. This is 8 years ago. 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. And Suzanne looked up his criminal history, and man, this is not a good guy. What were you saying, Suzanne?
Oh no, he's a bad dude for sure, Mark.
Yeah, just if you see, just don't do business with him. I mean, at minimal, Don't do business with him.
Our listeners need to go to the referral list for good mechanics, not Facebook, Marketplace, or Nextdoor.
Yeah, referral lists, they're all background checked, and, you know, basically we hold a lot of control over them. They're good people. Now, Gabriel, we were talking to last hour, he brought his vehicle to Nichols Auto Repair, and they gave him an estimate. He first brought it to the dealer. The dealer hit him with a pretty big dollar estimate. He decided to go local to a local shop. He went over to Nichols Auto Repair and dropped it off, and basically that's where we left off. So, Gabriel, take it from there. Gabriel? We might have to come back to him. I don't know what's going on there.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, man. So let's take it from there.
Okay, so I dropped it off with a service quote.
Now I lost you again, man. You're doing something. Are you going back and forth from Bluetooth?
Ah, darn it.
That's right. Get him back. It's not a big deal. 303-713-8255. Paul, this is a damn interesting question. What is it?
Yeah, Mark, I have an idea for a new word for when somebody's been scammed or something's all screwed up.
Yeah. So like, so for example, like bamboozled.
Yeah, well, it would be after the mask guy. Fauci, instead of being screwed up, it would be it's all Fauci'd up where you got Fauci.
You've got Fauci.
That's clever.
I don't see that happening.
You got Fauci'd.
You got Fauci'd. I could see that if they slammed a mask on you. But you want to know how you can actually make that happen, Paul?
Well, I just thought maybe you could start using it because stuff people call in on your show is pretty Fauci'd up a lot of times, you know.
You know what I would do, though? And I'm being serious. Doc, tell them how. Or tell the audience how someone literally gets a word into the dictionary.
What you have to do is you have to send it for the Merriam-Webster's. You send it to the editors. For the OED, which is the Oxford English Dictionary, they have an online form which you can submit. But in both cases, that you submit it to the editors, and they check for certain criteria, such as widespread use, whether it's going to be continuous. In other words, do they think it's going to be used in the future? How frequently is it used? Is it similar to other words? And you have to have citations of when it was used, how frequently it's used. So it's a very difficult process. And
but ultimately, the editors choose.
The editors are the ones that choose. And it's very difficult to have a new word unless it's been in use for quite some time to get into the dictionaries.
I like that. Now, of course, I'm sure this guy was calling in jest, but I do like that's all Fauci'd up.
Well, you don't even really believe in new dictionaries, do you, Mark? I kind of learned that over playing Scrabble with you recently.
So what she's referring to is we have what year is the dictionary?
Like 1996.
So we use a 1996 Scrabble dictionary. And I think that's the value. I don't like these newfangled words like, what's a new word?
My kids use the word slay all the time.
Riz.
Slay.
Yeah, Riz. You think that's actually in the new Scrabble dictionary? Riz. It could be. That's the stuff I hate.
Mark, I just wanted to use the current, latest app dictionary, but you had to go and
I'm old school, babe.
Use the 1996 dictionary like nothing's changed
I'll
in
tell
the
you
last
why,
30
because I
years.
learned Scrabble on the 1996 dictionary.
You need to use the Scrabble dictionary, no question.
Do you play?
Oh, yeah, I'm great at Scrabble.
I love Scrabble. We'll have to have a Scrabble
any day
off.
of the week.
I bet you're pretty good at it, actually. You know what he starts? Okay, do any of you do Words with Friends?
I don't.
Used to, but not anymore.
Or not Words with Friends. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. Wordle.
Yeah, Wordle.
Hold on. Have you ever played Wordle?
I never played it.
So Wordle, basically, you've got 5 tries or 6?
6.
You get 6 tries to guess a 5-letter word. So you start with a word. And generally, you would want to start with like a P or an S or an E or an A vowels.
I do A-D-I-E-U.
That's what he starts with every time.
You get 4 vowels.
I know why.
Right.
It's just almost like cheating. I think more people start with that than anything else, though. Do you do connections, Doc?
I have in the past, yes.
I like connections. That really gets your mind going. All right, listen.
I have like a 200-word continuous use. I haven't got Wordle wrong in ages.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, you know why? Because there are certain things that you know.
Yeah.
There are certain things in English.
No, but with 6 tries, you almost should get it every time.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying the only time it gets really weird. First of all, I hate, and I can't believe we're talking about Wordle, but I hate when they have the same letter twice. That kind of drives me crazy.
Well, you have to know that about Wordle.
Or you get down to the 4th, and there's 5 possibilities left, let's say. And you're like, geez, which one? Then you got to start thinking like the editor. Are they going to use that? Probably not.
Well, then you put a word in that has 4 letters that haven't been used.
Yeah. All right, 303-713-8255. We got to take a break. We got 2 lines open. Actually, 3. We'll drop Paul. Craig, I'll come to you after this. This is the Arapahoe Kia story. It's absolutely nuts. 303 Martino.
Was a speech pathologist.
Look at this Wordle.
And so she taught me a lot about word combinations and, things in English that you just, like, let's say it starts with the word starts with a C, let's say, right? So if it's not a vowel, it's got to be an H or an L or an R. right, as a second letter. So then you try and think of a word that has an H, an L, and an R in it to eliminate two of those three letters.
Vestera Turnkey. Man, these guys are experts on finding the best hotspots, cities, and then actively managing property investments in them. The reason they find these particular cities is because they see growth coming, which means that house is going to appreciate. So you go in there, you buy a house, they do all the legwork to find the proper town, the proper city, and the proper house. Then they actually find a great management company to run it, and you basically rent it out. You're a landlord. You collect that check each month from them. Then as the house appreciates and you want to cash in on all that profit, we have a lot of people that have yielded returns of over 50% or more, way more. In fact, in some cases, $200,000 investment into a house turned into over $1 million. You really need to look at this. Of course, optimum wealth, minimal risk. You own the deed. You own the property. These guys are just great at finding it and running it and helping you sell it if you want to. But you can sell it anytime. It's your house. Check them out at VesteraTurnkey.com. VesteraTurnkey.com. Now, let's talk about insurance. We had the guys at Integra Insurance on yesterday. Open enrollment closes on 1/15. Any questions you have, you better get those questions in now. This is a very honest company. They're not these 800 numbers that are going to sell you the highest profit margin health insurance plans. They're going to talk to you at length and figure out what's going on in your life, what do you need, and they're going to make the best recommendations out there for you. Not for them, for you. They want you as a long-term customer. You can call them every year you want. You can call them anytime if you got a problem with claims or anything. They're there to help you. They do their job unlike anybody else I know in the health insurance business. It's basically health insurance made simple and smart. IntegraInsurance.com. That's IntegraInsurance.com.
Here you go. Oh, scroll to...
That's insane. Oh my God, I got so many emails. I at least got through a shitload in the last night or the night before. I'm envying our daughter sitting in Cancun right now.
Let me check on her locay. Her locay.
See if she's at the damn resort.
Let's see if we could cuss at her. God. Oh, she's at the aeroporto.
Man, going through the Cancun airport is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I still love the way they check bags. Basically, it's red light, green light. You go through, you hit a button. If it's green, you walk through. If it's red, your luggage gets open.
They don't really do that in Cancun anymore. When Adeline and I went through, it's like, you want to check anything? They're like, do you have cigarettes? I said, no. And they said, okay, you can go. I was like, cigarettes?
Well, when you and I went to Cabo in January.
Yeah, Cancun's updated
It was
their
red
stuff.
light, green light.
Yeah, Cancun is updated a little bit.
And then you got all those Mexicans trying to give you stuff for timeshares and
oh my God,
it's exhausting.
that last, I call it the last mile when you're leaving the airport, is like every taxi driver, every car rental place, every shuttle person, every bum, anybody that sells beer, popsicles, you name it.
Popsicles.
That last mile is crazy.
They're hammering you, huh?
I don't know what to make. I get nervous having any of their kind of frozen anything because I'm afraid I'll get Montezuma's revenge.
Do something with AT&T so she can use her phone?
I'm pretty sure that's included in our plan.
Okay.
Text and calling in, at least in Cancun, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I figured too.
Hey, remember to talk to Compass.
I think all of Canada and all Mexico. What?
Remember to get Compass on. We're going to talk to Compass about the insurance issue.
Oh, yeah.
In California.
Hey, let's try to get Brian from Compass on if we get a lull.
Well, we only have one caller now.
Yeah, she's on the phone, though.
Are they staying at one of those all-inclusives?
Yeah, it's a good brand, too. It's the Ryu.
It's the what, Mark?
R-I-U, Ryu.
Mm.
Suzanne and I have been to numerous Ryus all over.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, they're good. Good security. The whole problem with Mexico or Cancun is just don't leave the resort. We used to drive around with the kids all over the place. We drive to the pyramids. We drive everywhere. And it's just, you really can't do that anymore.
You can't leave your enclosed.
You shouldn't.
No.
I've stayed there. I don't leave the resort.
Yeah, but I'm going back. Even when our kids were like 5 and 7, we drove around the whole place. We never had any issues, ever. Wow. But I wouldn't do it anymore.
Trajan Wealth, K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
All right, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. And any questions you have, I want to hear from you. And to answer the guy's question who just emailed me, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. That's who I was talking about. And basically, yes, the 5 pillars. That's the only company I talk about with the 5 pillars. Income, investments, taxes, healthcare. Basically what they do, they help you retire. They go every aspect of it. They can help you with the taxes, the Social Security, so you get the optimal benefits. You might have benefits you don't even know are there. They help you put those extra dollars in your pocket each month. They can talk about Medicare and the supplements. They can talk about insurance, long-term care, estate planning, and then, of course, different investment strategies. That's who they are, though. rpcenter.com, Joe. rpcenter.com. Now, let's go to people. You're not going to believe this one. I like Deal and Doug. I really do. And I hope this works out. He really is a good guy. I had the opportunity to sit next to him. He's one of the biggest Rocky fans out there for an entire baseball game not long ago. I think it was last year. Might have been the year before, but whatever. We had a great conversation. I know one of his store managers or his former store managers, Jim Janicelli, that ran when he owned it, the Colorado Springs Dodge, and we just never had any issues with him. So this guy, Craig, and I'm going to have him tell the story real quick, but we've got to do it quick though, Craig. So here's what I want you to recap as quick as you can. When did you drop your vehicle off at Arapahoe Kia?
October 16th.
So think about that, folks. October 16th. You have an idea how far away it is. And you dropped it off because you thought you needed a transmission.
Yeah, but they troubleshooted it. They did a diagnosis, and they suggested it doesn't need a transmission.
So basically, you dropped it off because it wasn't getting out of, if I recall, originally it wasn't going out of 4th gear, no matter what.
Correct.
So they order a transmission, they put it in, and all of a sudden the vehicle will not go out of 2nd gear now, as crazy as that sounds. So the transmission they put in is basically doing the same thing, but in a different gear than the one you had in there, correct?
Yeah, it was stuck in 1st gear, so it was even worse. You couldn't even
at least in 4th gear you could probably move around a little.
Yeah, I drove it all the way from the north side of Denver,
Yeah, I got you. So, but it's basically doing the same thing. It's stuck in a gear and it won't exit. Then they say, hey, by the way, it wasn't the transmission. You need a computer. Was that correct? Or was it the wiring harness?
Well, they said it could be the ECM, the TCM, or the PCM.
Yeah, but what did they sell you next?
They just started throwing parts in. I said, I can't afford that. I don't have the money for that.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me, and I think you've told me this before, but this just hit me a little different. So they said it could be the ECM, the PCM, or something else, and but they had no way of diagnosing which one?
Well, they had their lead mechanic quit. So you start.
Hey, do me a favor. Get Jeff Fick on, Kelly. I really want to get Jeff Fick on. But Craig, let me continue this while we're getting Jeff up. So what happens is they sell you what? What was the next thing they put on your invoice? You have a transmission that didn't fix it. Now you have what?
They put in a used PCM. That didn't work. They put in a new PCM. That didn't work. They did a flight test, blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of stuff. I'd say most of the time my car's been there. It's not been in the shop. It's been sitting in the parking lot because no one knows what to do.
So they put a computer in, that didn't fix it. So what did they do next? They did a transmission. They did a computer. It still isn't working. So what happened next?
So in the meantime, the bill went up another $6,500, including the $1,500 that I already paid for the transmission.
That was kind of money down so they would order the transmission.
Yeah, I had to pay $1,500 for the part, or they wouldn't.
I got you. So I understand that, which I find crazy to begin with, anyhow. But so now we've got $6,500, and literally you're in the same spot as when you dropped it off.
Yeah, but let me jump to the punch here.
No, I don't want you to jump to. I just don't want you to jump to the punch because there's people that haven't heard how crazy this story is. So what was the next thing that happened? I thought there was a wiring harness or something involved, but I could have that mixed up.
Yeah, no. They checked all the wiring, all that, and they did a flight test, and they said, well, we're having our the 13th of December. They said, we're having our engineer come in, and then the next day...
From Kia.
Yeah, their top dog engineer.
Yep.
Main office or whatever. But he won't be able to come till January 2nd, like 3 weeks later.
Okay, so fine. January 2nd has come and gone. Did he ever get out there?
No. Then they sent me a message and said that the engineers told us that the rebuilt transmission we put in must be bad, so we're going to put another one in.
And when did they tell you that? Around the 2nd? Yeah. Okay, so now we're here on the 9th. Did they get another transmission and put it in?
Yes.
And what happened? Where are we at today?
They sent me a message today. Let me pull it up on my phone here.
Oh my God! I can't wait to hear what they had to say.
Well, I mean, I'm dumbfounded, but they said, "Hey, Craig," they said the transmission is being installed today. That was Tuesday. We'll keep you posted. Ring around the rosy for almost 7 days. It'll be 3 months. They sent me a message 2 days later, which was, they sent me 2 days later today. And they said, hey, Craig, vehicle is fixed finally. The remaining total is $3,006.
And how much have you paid them so far?
$1,500.
Originally, how much was it going to be for the transmission?
$3,200.
So what is the justification of the more money?
I don't know. That's why I wanted to talk to you first before I called down.
Yeah, you know what? And they've had the vehicle 3 months. I'm going to make a call to the service manager. In fact, I'm going to have Suzanne. I'm going to give you the information. I really want to talk to the service manager. I haven't dealt with him yet. Andy knows him very well. Barella says he's a good, honest guy, and we're going to get through to him that this is absurd. It turned out to be they sold you a bum transmission. Then they chased it for 3 months. Now they want more money because it seems like they were inept. Now,
they're saying we may have to put in another new PCM, so that's where I think they knocked it up in their 1,500.
well, I don't care about that because I think your original PCM was fine. Because when they changed out the PCM, okay, listen, I got Jeff Vick up. I got to take this break. Hold on, man. I want you to stay there. Jeff, I'm going to come back to you and ask you. And basically, here's what I'm going to ask, Jeff. I mean, they're saying the service advisor basically told them, we don't know if it's the ECM, the PCM, and something else, some other M. And they threw a part at it. And my understanding back in my day when I had the Goodyear stores, if I bought a PCM from a dealership and it was programmed to the VIN, I own it. I mean, pretty much I own it. I don't know how the dealerships work. That could be different. I'm just curious. I'm curious of this. You put a transmission in, it doesn't work. You put a PCM in, it still does the same thing. So now, why would this guy have to pay for a PCM, period? It doesn't make sense because ultimately they're telling him it was a bad transmission. I just don't get it. I want to talk to Jeff Vick after this. And would a transmission itself make itself stuck in a gear like fourth gear or first gear? Remember, his original problem stuck in gear. They put in the rebuilt transmission, problem stuck in gear. It's crazy.
Doug Moreland owns a dealership, huh, Mark?
Hold on 1 second. Dang it. Discount Bath. Fuller. Hey, babe. Is Chris the owner of Discount Bath, Chris? Now, I'm going to tell you about a great company. You need a remodel for your bathroom. That's what they do. In fact, they pretty much do only bathrooms. DiscountBath.com. And I love the fact that word discount is in their name because that's exactly it. You get the high quality, upfront, transparent pricing, but you're getting the remodel done at a discount price. I am not kidding. I've had these guys out to the house. They're wonderful. They go around with different ideas. Maybe you just want like a tub to shower conversion, or maybe you want to knock out that old tub and create more closet space, or go to a double vanity if the home's older. Whatever you want to do, not only will they give you ideas, but they'll give you different pricing on everything. They can give you all kinds of ideas too, is which I love. Like, oh, I do this in granite or quartz, and then over here we do this kind of fixture, and then if you want a bigger closet, you do this. But they come out, there's no high pressure, no arm twisting. They're great, honest people. They want to earn your business. Check them out at DiscountBath.com. That's DiscountBath.com. Chris is the owner. He comes into studio with us, and he just lives and breathes bathrooms. He is a wonderful guy, and his crews are great. John Fuller, Fuller Law. John's my attorney. What do I mean by that? There's been 2 times in our life here in Colorado, we got hit by somebody else in their vehicle. Both times I hired John, personal injury attorney, and both times we got maximum results. Every single penny the insurance company had, we got. John got that for us. And what I really love is when all that's said and done and you get the maximum amount, then he'll go to the ER, he'll go to the hospital, he'll go to the doctors, and he'll negotiate the bills to put even more money in your pocket. If you are hurt in an accident, you want to call John Fuller. And you're always going to deal with John. He's got a great staff around him, but honest to goodness, if you want to talk to John, and most of the time you will, that's it. He's going to be there for you. He's like a coach. He just brings you through the whole thing, man. He's going to maximize that claim. You're going to love the personal approach to him. You're just going to love him. 303-597-4500. God, as he helps Suzanne and I. Put that number in your phone, 303-597-4500, or call Fuller. Call Fuller.com. State Farm is leaving.
Leaving California.
You know what? It would cost almost nothing to insure a new build there. Now there's nothing to burn. Mother Nature finally did its job, you know? Although, who was talking about the mudslides? Whoever, I think Kelly was. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it just doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, that'll come up. And, you know, like I said, the other thing that's going to really be complicated is the Coastal Commission does not want to build on the beach. So getting permits to do that is going to be a lot of uphill battle.
God, they make everything so hard.
Chopper hid Deputy Bo's comment. Did you see that, Bo?
Why would he hide your comment?
Something, so Jim S. says, not with your AK-47. I don't even know what that's about. But then Bo puts, in the late 70s, a Kunzmiller was the largest school in Colorado at one great place to learn about drugs and gang fights.
Someone talked about Kunzmiller. That's where I went to school.
Oh, who's Kunzmiller? I missed that whole
It's a
thing.
big junior high school, and it sent before.
Oh, Chop.
What did he do? Block me?
He moderated you.
Why, though? I don't get it.
I didn't do just a fat thumb scrolling up. Oh, I see. Well, you can unhide it, I think.
Yeah, just, I don't know how, but unhide it.
You can unhide it, Chop. Yeah, he doesn't have to retype
Did I say
it.
something bad?
No. It was an accident.
Is that something to do with AK-47?
Hey, Mark, at the top of the hour,
yes, sir.
I can't get the sound to work on my, I don't know which.
On the laptop?
On my laptop.
Okay. California law to force high-risk coverage under review. Okay, so let's go to the insurance companies and make them cover stuff. What are they going to do when you do that? What would you do if you're a business? My God, if you were a business like Allstate and you...
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
I'm looking at these fires. Listen, I do want to get our insurance expert on. Not right now, Kelly, because we've got other stuff we're cooking, but I want to get them on next hour for sure. So maybe line Brian up for first break. But I'm reading stuff like they're trying to pass a law in California, or they're thinking about it now. They're going to force insurance carriers to do something. I mean, I wonder two things. One, is it possible this is going to be another bailout? And then the curious part is this would be under Trump. Is Trump going to bail out California? I mean, I just don't know the answer to that. I don't know what a bailout looks like when we have so many people either no insurance or the insurance companies simply don't have enough money. So I want to find out if most of these big companies are reinsured by Lloyd's of London, how that works. And is there a cap generally on those policies? But I think we're looking at the largest claims ever in history. In the history of not just this country, in the history.
Mark, you don't think Biden will bail them out or bail the insurance companies out before?
Nothing. There's no time for any of that.
Okay.
Absolutely. That the way California has killed its resources and the water issues going in, and I think that one mayor, would she kill $17 million off the budget? How many months ago was that, Doc?
I'm not sure, but I know it was $17 million.
$17 million off the fire department budget within the last, what, Kelly?
17 and a half.
When?
And it was just, let me verify. I believe it was a few months ago.
Okay, now I want to go to Jeff Vick. Jeff, this is just crazy as hell. He drops his vehicle off. And I know you have. I went down with him to the dealership months ago. I figured this would be so done and over. But now here's what ultimately happened. He's finally ready to pick his vehicle up. They want $4,200 or whatever it is. Originally, it was only going to be $32. But here's the deal. He brings in his vehicle, and basically they say it's transmission. They put a transmission in. It does not fix it. But here's the difference between his transmission and the one they put in. His was stuck in fourth gear. The one they put in was stuck in first gear. So then they decide it's a computer problem. So they sell him a PCM, but ultimately it doesn't look like they did, but I don't know if they did or not because of the pricing. So the PCM doesn't fix it. So then they try everything else. It's been there 3 months. And then finally they say, oh, it must be the transmission we put in was bad. So they go back in and basically put in another transmission. Now they say it's ready to go. Here's what I'm afraid of. And I want your thoughts, but here's my fear. One, if they're charging them for the computer, I think that's absolute BS, and I'm going to try to fight with them there. But I don't know how you would prove it's the old computer, the new computer, whatever. But more importantly, I'm starting to wonder if it was the PCM only, and they put in the transmission, and that was really never the problem, or it was a different problem that they're not even mentioning. I'm starting to wonder if he needed a PCM, a transmission. I don't know what the hell he needed. How would we is it possible for you to look at it and see what they actually did to fix it? I know that sounds insane, but give me your thoughts on all this.
If all those new parts are still hanging on the car, then there's no way I can backtrack that. I mean, I can say that, yes, they put in a PCM. I can say, yes, they put in a transmission. I can say that, yes, they changed the vehicle speed sensor. But without the old parts to compare and to test, there's no way for me to validate that.
And why do you think it would take a reputable dealer? I mean, we get very little complaints over Deal and Doug's store, but a Rapo Kia, why do you think it would take 3 months to figure this out? The technician was inept, right? I mean, really, what else could it be?
It could be partially inept. It could also partially be because, I mean, those parts are not easy to get your hands on right now. We just...
No, but think about it. They got the parts quick. Once he said, okay, I guess I'll get the PCM.
If they had the parts on hand, then wholeheartedly, no, it shouldn't have taken 3 months. You know, if he had a transmission put in there, and then once they put it in, they had a new problem, well... Logic stands to reason. You go back to the last point of repair, and, you know, it's either that transmission or something wrong with the installation.
Well, and then let me ask you this, just a little detective work here. If you're stuck in fourth gear on your original one, it just like boom happened. It wouldn't shift just like that. And then they put that in and they're stuck in first gear. To me, that's the same problem, different gear. But could a computer cause that? And if it could cause it, I mean, why? But then the other question is, could a bad transmission cause that?
Well, bad transmission definitely could. I mean, if there's a problem inside the transmission, and the computer senses it, it'll go into limp mode. And I'd have to check it. It could be fourth gear. I think it's third gear on the Kias that it defaults. Basically, it shuts off all the
so you can move it.
Yeah, so you can move it. You've got reverse, and you'll get a single forward gear. You can get it into an auto repair shop and get it taken a look at and get it taken care of. It may or may not be a big problem. It could be a sensor issue.
So it literally could have been the computer or the transmission itself.
No, well, if everything transpired the way you said it did, and the final repair was that second transmission, I got to say it was the at very least the second transmission was no good. Well,
so then it's just it's basically ironic, if you will, that both times it was stuck in a gear. So you're saying, why would a brand new or a rebuilt transmission be stuck in first gear?
If you have something that's not getting good connection, so it's not being given a command to shift. The computer doesn't have enough information in order to schedule that shift.
See, that's what scares me about this. At this point, because they've had it so long and they've thrown so many parts at it, and you're telling me, yeah, there's no way we're going to figure out what literally fixed it because they're all new parts.
Well, but what are they claiming fixed it?
Well, Craig, what they're claiming fixed it was the last transmission. I just absolutely... Jeff, call right back, please. I went over to him and I hit that. But they're basically, Jeff, I'm sure he's listening on the radio, the last transmission, right, Craig? They're saying it's ready to go right now.
Yep. They replaced the transmission and
Have you looked at the invoice yet? Can you send me a copy of what they want to pay? That's what I want. Send me an invoice right now. Call them up, say you want a copy of the invoice.
Okay.
I want to see what they're charging you for. Hold on, Craig. I'm serious. I don't want to. I don't want to go any further with you right now till you get me that invoice. Is that Jeff? Let me talk to him. Hey, Jeff, I got to go to break, but it was the transmission. So they said the transmission they put in was no good.
Well, then, quite frankly, then all he should be charged for is the transmission of the installation.
Yeah, I'm going to look at, I told him to get the invoice. I want to see what they're charging him for. The problem is originally they were going to charge him $3,200 for the rebuilt transmission. Does that sound like a normal price or what to you on a transmission?
That sounds pretty spot on, yeah.
Total parts and labor.
Yep.
For that one on a little Kia. All right. What'd you say?
Jeff, I just have a quick question. Is it possible it could be just a faulty shifting solenoid? I think the first transmission is probably okay.
Well, we'll never know because you can't test it when you don't have it.
That's my fear, though, Bo, is like we have no idea what was really wrong with it. And I don't have faith in that mechanic at all.
I think it could just be the solenoid that's keeping it in fourth gear. But you're right. It's too late. His original transmission, I guarantee, has already been sent somewhere to get rebuilt. Wouldn't you say, Jeff?
It doesn't matter. That was 2 transmissions ago.
Oh, that's right. Plus, that's 2 transmissions ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I want to see that invoice, Craig. Hey, Jeff Vick Kimmer Transmission. Listen, you need a transmission. Not only does he have like the best pricing around, but Jeff will give you different options. He'll tell it apart. They'll tell you what it needs. He does a lot of work for different municipalities, and all he does is transmissions. I mean, if it's in there and you need brakes or something, he'll tell you. He can do stuff like that. But really, it's a transmission shop. They rebuild them right there. They're extremely good at what they do, and their pricing's great, warranty's great. Transmissionsdenver.com, 303-693-1400. Any transmission questions, 303-693-1400. Rob's got a question on Tabor after this, and that's about it. Hold tight.
Need anything?
No.
Okie dokie.
Okay, Gravina 888 Lazera.
We got the gray. This windows. Cone smeller. You went to cone smeller too. Gravina.
888. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this. I'm a little frustrated over that last call for a different reason. But 888heating.com. These guys, Garrett's the owner. They're absolutely wonderful people. They've been out to my house. They've done work at my house. I just love the company. I love the ownership. I love the guy at the top, and he makes sure everybody below him are doing the right thing. And if you're looking for a high-efficiency system like a new furnace, they got them. If you're looking for something that's cost savings, they got them. And if something's broke, they're going to actually give you a price on fixing it, along with other options if you want them. But what I love about them is they don't try to twist your arm into a new system. They can come out and repair stuff. They're just good people. They're honest, and they're just wonderful. 888heating.com, 888heating.com. I bet a lot of people end up calling him today, as cold as it is. Now let's talk about Joseph A. Lazera. Here's a referral list member and a friend of mine. I hope you don't have to call, but if you do, I want you to write the number down. He is a criminal defense attorney. Maybe you got hit with a DUI over the holidays, maybe even a shoplifting charge, an assault charge, domestic violence, anything criminal. Joseph A. Lazera is handled. We've been talking about him for almost 15 years now. He's got flat rate pricing on some stuff like DUI. But here's the bottom line. He knows the judges. He knows the DAs. He knows the assistants. He knows everybody. He can cut a deal if you're guilty better than you will ever do, better than most other attorneys would do. And if you're innocent, he can get in front of that judge or jury and plead your case and, hopefully get you off. He's very good at that if you're innocent. But either way, you need help. 303-429-6200. Do not go against the system yourself. You're insane. If you have been cited, call him. 303-429-6200. Joseph A. Lazara and Gravina. Why do I talk about them? Well, I like Nick a lot. In fact, he was supposed to be in today. He's going to be back in, I don't know, maybe next week. But over 100,000 successful projects. Nick's been in the business 25 years. Of course, his father, Larry, back in 1972, the company's been around for a while. You've heard him advertise on TV and radio forever. Free estimates, of course. You can come out. They'll give you a free estimate on window replacements. What's really cool about them, 50 different lines of windows. They're going to have the right one for you. 20 different manufacturers, but everything's high quality. You're just going to really, really love these guys. They're easy to do business with. They're straightforward. And that's it, man. 303-472-8462. 303-472-8462 or GravinaWindows.com.
We have a couple house spots to do as well. Unless I miss checking them off, but I don't think so.
Oh, I can't believe. Do we really? So he doesn't want to meet somewhere?
He wants us to go there.
Okay.
So.
I got to plow no matter what.
I know. Well, I don't think we're going to be super long. And
I'm just more afraid of how long it's going to take to get there. Did you Google it?
It's 13 minutes from here.
Oh, that ain't bad. I thought it was much further.
No.
Okay.
It's just that I'm being a baby. I'm going to end up missing
I know why. It's far from Franktown.
Yeah. Really wanted to try to get my yoga in. It's just not working out for me.
Yeah, look at Malibu.
It's bad. Are the fires out?
I don't think so.
What's
I think they're out of control is what they are.
To find some water somewhere.
Yep. L.A. Fire Chief, this is what the chief said. Main focus, the L.A. Fire Chief said main focus was DEI hiring.
Yeah.
Not water, not fighting fires. This is L.A., man. I heard him the other day, and basically he was talking, we don't have the budget, the resources, they cut it. I don't remember him saying anything about DEI, but I bet he did. Back in the day, I think, what was funny? I mean, Reagan was a good governor, but Schwarzenegger was kind of weird. Was he good or not, guys?
I think Schwarzenegger was a good governor.
I thought he was a good governor. Wasn't he reelected?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I just don't remember.
He brought taxes down and...
So he did good for him.
He mirrored
Why do you think they went from someone? Why did they go so liberal? Why did they go to you don't get in trouble for stealing under $1,000?
I don't know.
Why did they go so fucking nuts?
Hollywood influence.
Yeah.
But why? Those people, their homes just burned down in Malibu. In Palisades. A lot of rich people in Palisades.
The richer you are, the more liberal you can be because it doesn't touch you.
It doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah.
At all. That's when, the economy's great. Yeah, okay. Everything we buy is 25% higher. Are you insane? Yeah, that doesn't affect me and Suzanne, but it affects a lot of freaking people.
Think about it. When either you or Suzanne go to the supermarket, to buy something? Do you look at the price? Or
No,
you buy what you need, right?
No.
Kind of feel bad, but I don't. I used to when we were on a bus.
Just tap that little microphone while listening to Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255-303. Martino. We've got another hour coming up. We're going to get Brian Burns up or somebody from Compass Insurance. I've got a lot of questions about these fires and how the insurance is going to work out. I mean, I don't even know if the money's going to be there to cover. What happens if everybody pulls out of the state? I just got so many questions. And I was asking people, and I'm being serious. We were talking back, Reagan was a governor there. Schwarzenegger was a governor. Now, they were Republican, but really, I don't find them like what people would say far right by any means. When did California, maybe people that have lived there, Kelly, you live there, but we'll talk about this next hour with Brian, but I'm curious, why? First of all, why did it go so far left when all of a sudden you had crime out there that they didn't do anything with? You could steal like up to $1,000 or something.
Yeah, it went really downhill very quick, but it was a slow downhill.
God, but all of a sudden you wake up like in the past couple of years, and over COVID, you can't believe what's going on out there.
Well, and it started really before that with all of the Democratic rush.
When did you move from there?
2000.
Yeah, I'm going to quiz you on that. But hey, Rob, what is going on? What's your question on Tabor?
Yeah, Mark.
Hey, man.
Is there going to be a Tabor refund this year?
I would assume so. I don't remember him getting rid of it.
I heard some rumors earlier that our good past governor diverted some of that money away, and that we possibly wouldn't be able to get it. And I don't know. I haven't heard anything. And I have one more question.
Well, we can ask one of our accountants. They're going to know, but I can't imagine we're not going to get a Tabor refund this year.
We're going to try and shuffle it around for the property taxes, but I don't think that happened.
It didn't pass.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Tabor refund, but go ahead. What was the other thing?
The other thing is that lovely Lauren Boebert, this is her third term.
Yeah.
So that bitch is, actually going to get a pension for the rest of her life after she's out of office?
I would assume so. Just like all of them. Just like everybody in Congress that voted for Obamacare. They're not even on Obamacare, but they have health for the rest of their lives. So yeah, Rob, she is. You didn't kill that, did you? Dragon, did you kill that?
Bitch, a bad word.
Yes or no?
Say that again?
Did you kill bitch? You didn't, did you?
No. All right.
I can't hear him. That's so weird.
I heard him for just a half a
sorry.
second.
No, there you go. Buttons. Yeah, bitch is fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I don't care if he thinks she's a bitch. He thinks she's a bitch.
That's fine.
So if you say, Suzanne, you're such a bitch on the air, you're fine?
Yeah, bastard bitch.
Huh?
You didn't
I
know that?
was one of the seven. I thought we would have killed for that.
No, you can say
Man,
that.
oh, I didn't know I could say,
You
man,
can say-
what a bitch.
What was it? The song, whatever. Son of a bitch!
As of January 1st, you can say bitch, bastard, fuck, shit,
I just look at, I want to say bitch on the air.
dickhead, asshole, and what else? There's another one.
Hey, careful. Somebody's
The C
going to
word.
believe you.
The C word.
No,
okay.
Mark's being facetious.
Hey, Mark, you want to help me with this?
I want to talk.
You can on satellite.
Mark?
Oh, yeah.
See if you can, I can't figure out how to get my sound on.
What's it on, YouTube or where?
Give me an excuse to say bitch on the air, Bo.
Go to where
Give me an excuse to say bitch
Go to
on the air,
somewhere
okay?
where there's, like right here.
He just needs something to bitch about.
I need, yeah.
So you unmute. And then we come down to here. And you have no audio device installed. Well, that's
Well, it should have its own, right? We don't need to.
Communications towers burning on Mount Wilson.
Oh, that's not good. Bye-bye news.
hit reboot on it.
How do you reboot?
Just restart it.
How do you,
Here, right here.
I can't wait to become the pickleball queen.
Here. And then you come over to this
I'm going to be so badass.
and hit. Oh, let's update real quick.
address you sent me, that's not
I texted, it's the address I texted is where we're going to go. But I'll see you Monday anyway.
County Line Road.
I've got a computer at home that does that like once every.
That's not the ice skate.
3 months or so. It'll literally
he
lose
changed
the
it
audio.
again. He says, look, I wanted to try to make it a little, he knows we live in Franktown. So he's like, I was trying to make it a little closer. They have plenty of availability. Let's go there. Is that cool? And I said, yes. So I was hoping you were cool with that.
And let's get Brian on if we can, please.
Suze, what's the name of the place?
It's, what did he say it's called? He's
I'll see
such
him.
a nice guy.
How did you find him?
Through the rec center. Let's see. It's called,
Sure, there's room
the South Suburban Sports Complex.
South Suburban. Okay, and it's okay. I join you guys for a lesson.
Yeah, that'll be so fun.
Find my old tennis shoes.
I'm going to see if there's pickleball outfits. Let's see.
Oh, God. No, I forbid it. I forbid it.
Maybe
There
it's
is-
like Kelly's tennis outfits. I'm
No.
looking.
You don't actually wear tennis outfits,
Yes, she
do you?
does.
You dress up to play tennis?
Yes.
Why don't you just wear shorts?
I'm looking. Amazon.
Now, listen, first of all, there's no
Drag your Louis
fucking...
Vuitton
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
We're
be
not going down that
stylish.
road. Nope, sorry. I forbid it.
Pickleball.
You're forbidden.
Outfit.
As Kelly, she takes her Louis Vuitton bag out.
Cute.
Yeah,
Look
pickleball
at this.
outfits.
Yeah, look. It's like little dresses.
Trust me, when you
Look
go
at
to the
that.
sloppy pickle to play, you don't need to get dressed up.
Pickle.
I want to see if that... I might grab that website. Let me go to GoDaddy.
The sloppy pickle. That's so bad.
Search domains. Sloppypickle.com. I bet it's taken. Yeah, unbelievable. Now, who thought of sloppy pickle before me? I want to meet this fucking person. I do. I really want to meet whoever thought of sloppy pickle like I did. I could get sloppypickle.net.
Hey guys, Brian is on a call. It's going to be about 10 minutes.
Beautiful.
Did you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We heard you.
How come you can't hear us? So that's the question.
No, I
Why?
She's just double checking.
You
We
didn't
wrote
have-
her ass the other day about all this, so she's
No, we didn't.
doing
What are
her
you
due
talking about?
diligence.
Did Suzanne come down on you the other day? Is that what I'm
I
hearing?
certainly wasn't trying to come down on her.
Jesus.
But I guess maybe it came off that way.
My God. Babe.
Ooh, a pickleball queen crown skort.
We were at the mall one time, and this lady gave Suzanne a look, kind of like this stink eye kind of thing.
She did?
She just
Oh, yeah, right. Like
Right
I
in the
would punch
choppers.
somebody.
almost knocked her out. Don't get on her bad side.
Yeah, I'm super scary.
I was terrified
Oh.
that day. Remember the time I went to the emergency room and they made you leave? Yes, you had to leave the room.
They had to make sure I wasn't beating him.
They asked me, did she do this to you?
Yeah.
Oh, dead serious.
Yeah. It's like, because I was laughing at his injury. I was laughing at his head. being
She's got to
split
drive me
open.
to the emergency room because I blacked out.
Yeah, sucking down a helium balloon.
Okay, that was a balloon incident.
Now just go to YouTube, see if it works. I bet it does.
Okay.
We're going to go to the sloppy pickle.
Play pickleball.
If I open up a restaurant, it's going to be called the sloppy pickle.
No one will eat there.
It's going to be the biggest,
But they'll
best,
drink
most
there.
terrific restaurant ever.
Remember the what was the Dirty Bar? Remember the Dirty Bar in Castle Rock? Like
Oh,
who would
my
ever
God.
go to the Dirty Bar? But that's where we went.
Yeah, so that might have been a nickname, but everybody used it. It was the only place I remember
You could still
you
smoke
could smoke.
cigs.
That's why we just simply wouldn't go there anymore. You would walk in there, there's 9,000 people smoking.
They probably had a hell of a business.
Now it's a wild looking kind of like,
Oh, it's beautiful. They totally remodeled that bar and
yeah, it's like high end drinks only kind of thing.
yeah. It's almost like a speakeasy. You wouldn't really know it's there.
We didn't know it was there.
Yeah,
How many
until we,
times
like,
did we walk
walked-
by that
Yeah,
joint? But yeah, the dirty bar.
the Dirty Bar.
It was dirty, too. It was literally a dirty bar.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
The sloppy
Stagecoach.
pickle brothel.
Your feet
The sloppy pickle brothel. That's
Good one,
pretty good.
Tim.
That would be a good name for a strip
The
joint.
sloppy pickle sounds like one of those places you'd visit in Nevada.
Nah, we hit more classy joints like Hugh Hefner's. No, not Hugh Hefner. What's the big one off the highway?
On Denver's talk station.
The station I keep it on.
630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
All right, welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We do have open lines for the first time. Anything you've been ripped off, taken advantage of, we want to hear from you. We were talking about all kinds of stuff during the break. You should always, and I mean really, truly, join us on YouTube. It is a show within a show, I think, kind of like Seinfeld. It's kind of a, I don't even know how to put it. We just talk about certain things that we simply can't talk about over our wonderful airways. We just can't. Deputy Doc, do you have any updates? By the way, 303 Martino, 303-713-8255. No updates there. Deputy Bo, what do you got cooking? Anything in the hopper?
I've got 4 cases, but no positive developments to bring to air yet.
No positive developments? What are you, sitting on your tush?
Yeah, I want them to turn into positives instead of negatives, so I got to keep working it.
We're going to have Brian Burns with Compass Insurance on as a guest here in a little bit. I'm looking at the devastation of these fires, and anybody that's looked at the news, I have a feeling this is really, really bad. And what I mean by that is the largest damage ever, period. It's absolutely crazy. Now the flames are coming up towards like some kind of communication thing or something. But the reason I want to have Brian Burns on is I'm trying to figure out, well, there's going to be a bunch of people that had no insurance whatsoever. There's no doubt about it. What I heard one of the people talking about that had no insurance on the news is the fact of the matter is their house was bought from their parents or their grandparents for like $100,000. Now it's worth, $3 million. They simply couldn't afford insurance for it. And because it's paid off, there's no mortgage company you have to appease. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that have there's nothing left but ashes, and they have no insurance.
And really not only sad, Mark, but think about it. People who built houses, let's say 10 or 20 years ago or 30 years ago, didn't have the restrictions on building that they have now. So if they rebuild, they have to rebuild with all the new crazy California restrictions.
That's true, but a lot of insurance, if you have insurance, basically has code upgrades, but some doesn't.
Well, remember also California also put a cap on insurance. Newsom signed that into law.
What does that mean, a cap?
California placed a cap on insurance companies.
I was going to mention that about underinsured, Mark.
Right.
That's sad, too. These people that think they're fully covered and they're going to find out they're underinsured, a lot like those Boulder folks.
Yeah, 95% of the Boulder people. Brian Burns, Compass Insurance. Brian, I just want to, this isn't our typical call to you, but, after some of the stuff our president has said and Trump has said and other things. Actually, he is the president as far as I'm concerned right now because I don't hear anything from Biden. Just real quick, and I know there's people cussing me right now. Politics, blah, blah, blah. I literally watched him fly out there, and they were talking about the devastation and the fires. You know what Biden said? You can go look it up yourself. It's right on YouTube. I'm sure CNN, Fox, everybody's played it. You know what he said? He said, now for the good news. I had a grandson yesterday. I mean,
great-grandson.
Great-grandson. Think about that. I mean, talk about timing. That's like at a wedding, yelling out, when they say, hey, does anybody in this room, blah, blah, blah. And, you say, I slept with her or something. I mean, you couldn't come up with a worse timing from this guy. I think he thought he was somewhere else. But, hey, Brian Burns, I didn't mean to drag you into that. On the insurance game, I want to understand something. Let's take a company like Allstate, Safeco, Mutual, anybody. I don't care who it is. Are they required by law to have reinsurance or no? In other words, I know like during 9/11, isn't it true that some of the insured buildings, the insurance companies simply couldn't come up with the money, right?
Right. Yep.
So the government,
the whole bailout.
yeah, literally the government ended up bailing them out. So since then, and we had that issue, how does it work now? What do regulators say to an insurance company? Do you know?
Okay, so when you are an admitted carrier, and you'll hear those terms thrown around frequently whenever we're talking insurance, there's admitted and then there's excess. Admitted carriers means they're governed by the state. There's the insurance commissioner oversees it. And so there's specific requirements if you're going to insure in the state and you're admitted. So they have requirements for reinsurance, but even carriers that are excess also have them. They just might be different amounts of reinsurance that is required. But
the excess ones aren't required to have it, but most of them do.
They are required, but they're not required for the same regulations of the state because they're not admitted by the state. They're not covered. In other words, as a blanket over the state. The state does not guarantee anything out of these insurance companies.
Give me an idea. Give me an idea of a company that would be one or the other. Like, what is Allstate?
Allstate's admitted. So you're talking Lloyd's of London would be an excess carrier.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Basically a reinsurer.
Well, they do have a reinsurance portion to them, but they also have where they just flat out insure, and there's other carriers that do the same thing.
All right.
Where they're non-admitted, but they still have reinsurance. I don't know a company that doesn't have reinsurance to it.
So none of these companies are going to go bankrupt in California, Brian?
Yeah, Trump
I don't know that. Well, you know the one that's the most likely to have problems is the FAIR plan, the one that's actually, the insurance of last resort there in California, because I think it's something like 60% of the companies had non-renewed or removed themselves from some of these areas where the fires affected. And so those people had to go to the FAIR plan, which is, Colorado's getting a version of this too, by the way. But
what is it?
California's version, where it's the insurance of last resort. So what happens is, at least in Colorado, I can speak to that because it's coming out here first part of this year, is when it will actually be available, but cannot get insurance from anybody. You have to have, declines from all the standard markets, and then you even have to have a decline from the excess market. You can then go to this FAIR plan, and you can get insurance from there. And what it is where they get the money is every admitted carrier in the state is assessed based on the amount of premium they write. So if State Farm is 40% of the insurance in Colorado, they're having to contribute 40% of the insurance to this FAIR plan.
But they also get paid for it when someone uses it?
Well, so the amount that they're going to pay into it is not going to be enough to actually cover what's going on there. So it's basically the way they're getting the money is the admitted carriers are being assessed based on it, and then it's obviously the premium that is generated from this program. And it's not going to be cheap, but same thing in California where there's coverages only go up to a certain amount. I know in Colorado the most it will go up to is $750,000. So
oh my God,
that's going to cost $2 million to replace. The most they can get, if you're in Colorado, I can't speak to California. The most they can get is $750,000. But I know that it's similar there. There's a cap how much the FAIR plan will offer.
So, and a lot of these people that had to go to there, and I would assume one of the big one is going to be fire risk. Like where I live, there's certain carriers that won't touch it because of the woods I live in. So
it's going to mostly be, that's kind of the idea behind it, but it also could be someone that has had multiple claims that they just can't get insurance elsewhere.
Well, how much
or
more
a unique risk?
How much more would that kind of plan be? I mean, if it only caps at $750,000, I mean, that's not much higher than the median house in Colorado now. I mean, it is higher, but not much.
And I don't know because it hasn't come out. I don't know what their premiums will be. They do make it seem like the premiums are going to be higher than what you could find. If an insurance company was at one point writing it, it's going to be higher than that. But worse than that, it's going to be what's called a DP1, which means Everything is actual cash value. No other option. You cannot get replacement cost on anything. And it's going to be named perils. There's no liability included, so you're going to have to go elsewhere to get liability.
So if your couch burns up and all your furniture burns up and it's 5 years old, they're going to hand you a $20 bill, basically.
You got it. No, they're not going to get anything. But it extends further than just personal property. I'm talking your actual structure.
No, I get it.
Actual cash value. So, yeah, it's not good coverage, and I guarantee you that's what a lot of these people, unfortunately, have. But they have reinsurance. But the article I was reading here today is California's reinsurance was not nearly enough for the exposure that's in front of them here.
Well, of course, Trump made a comment. Now, remember, there's a lot of politics in these comments going back and forth. He blamed everybody out there, but he made a comment that the insurance companies aren't going to have enough money to pay this, or he said possibly. Yep. I mean, do you think that's very possible?
Well, I mean, what are they estimating now? $50 billion?
It was like 60, 70.
Okay, yeah. So,
but that was yesterday.
Hey, I just looked up the FAIR plan. It's $3 million for residential, $20 million for commercial.
In California.
They have way more. Yep. So they have $3 million. Colorado's the $750. I know that.
Right.
So.
Well, theirs is $3 million and $20 million.
Well, I mean, God, it's crazy. And then the other thing, it's going to be like Boulder, right? No matter what, these areas, when they start to rebuild, because everything's gone, lumber's going to be crazy. Everything's going to be crazy.
Yeah, the cost to rebuild is going to skyrocket. And like you said, exactly what happened in Boulder, where you could not get a contractor to build a house there for under $320 a square foot. And so we started calling all of our customers with rental homes that didn't have extended replacement costs or very little, and just, we're telling them, hey, we need to increase this dwelling limit. And it is a shocking number when you start looking at that. But, you realize that when there's a loss like this, the cost is just way, way higher.
Well, and then what do you think ultimately is going to happen to all the people? There's a ton of people that don't have insurance because either they can't afford it and their mortgage company doesn't force them to do it. For whatever reason. One of the big ones I heard a lady on TV going, my great-grandparents bought this house for whatever, $50,000, or my grandparents for $100,000. And now it's worth $3 million. We simply can't afford insurance on it. So she had no insurance. So what happens there? I mean, do you see a government assistance or loans coming in? And even if those loans do come in, I mean, what exactly does that mean? Even if you don't have to qualify for it, I mean, how much are they going to give somebody to rebuild in Malibu?
I know. Well, and, it's on a much smaller scale is the only thing I have, I'm drawing any kind of conclusions from is Boulder. And they did put some requirements on the insurance companies of, allowing longer time for loss of use. So while they were trying to rebuild or trying to get people to rebuild, even if a policy only had 12 months of loss of use, they were requiring 24 months. So I do know the government will put requirements on these insurance companies, but if they don't have insurance at all, I have no idea.
Now wait a second, though. I never understood what you just said, your last paragraph there. So if something like these fires, and my insurance policy says it's 12 months to rebuild, we know there's no way 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 residents are going to be rebuilt in a year. You're saying the government can force them, the state of California or the feds can force them to pay for another year, another 2 years?
Colorado sure did. Colorado did. Even it wasn't in the policy that even if they had a policy of 12 months for loss of use, they would require 24 months.
Yeah, but when they do something like that, I mean, can the insurance companies fight that? I didn't realize the state had the power. I mean, why don't they have the power to say, okay, instead of paying the insured value of $500,000, the rebuild price is $900,000. Why not force them to do that too?
Right, yeah. At what point are their hands tied? I don't know, but I can tell you that they did do that. And even the article I was reading earlier about the FAIR plan and about the possible exhaustion of coverage there, one of the last things was, and that the California very well might, force insurance companies to put in more money into this. So they obviously have the ability, or maybe it's, hey, if you want to insure in our state, you have to do this. I don't know. That part I'm just skeptical. Yeah, I have no idea what exactly the power is they have, but they do have power to get insurance companies to do things.
Man, that's crazy. But then what happens? Then they pull out, right?
Or you see them, they're already talking about what it's going to do to their rates there. So California, or even Colorado, you have to, whenever you're trying to raise rates in the state, if an insurance company is trying to raise rates, they have to get approval if they are admitted.
Hold on, Brian. I'm getting yelled at by Dragon. Let me take a break. I'm hoping he can hold there. 303-713-8255. I'm fascinated by this.
I'd like to ask him how much is it going to raise our rates in Colorado, this fire in California?
Who do I have? Integra and Gravina.
Need some water? I'm good. Need anything, Mark?
Hold on. No, I'm okay. Thank you. Integra Insurance open enrollment closes on the 15th. You need to call these people. And if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan and want to see what the other options are, that's going to be opening soon, but for a very short time. But either way, now is the time to call Integra Insurance. These are the people we trust, no matter what plan you have, or if you don't have a plan, you need to call these guys. They're looking out for you. They're going to tell you all the different options. They're going to make sure you understand. They're going to dig into your financial situation. They're going to talk about tax credits that could apply. 303-466-5500. They've been our insurance experts for 10, 15 years. 303-466-5500 or IntegraInsurance.com. Gravina Windows and Siding. It's GravinaWindows.com. These guys, Larry started in 1972. Nick's kind of at the helm right now, but over 100,000 successful projects. Think about that. That is a lot of homes to be working on over a long period of time. You know they're going to be there. They've got great warranties, and I love the fact they have 50 lines of windows, 50 from 20 different manufacturers. Of course, free estimates on window replacements. Have them out there. New windows can make your house look so gorgeous, bring up the value of it. A lot of times with the appreciation of the house and making it look nicer, I mean, really, you're getting the windows for free when you sell the house. Check them out at GravinaWindows.com or call them at 303-472-8462.
Hey, Doc, did you know Top Secret is Bo's sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Budget cuts didn't contribute to the magnitude of the disaster. Just because we cut from the fire department doesn't mean anything.
Hey, Mark, you may have an answer to this.
Go ahead, sir.
When you start your car, a regular car in the winter, you need to let it heat up a little bit, right?
I don't think so anymore.
No. Just let the oil and everything else, give it 2 or 3 minutes. You need to do that with electric.com.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
303-713-8255. Couple lines open. I'm fascinated. I want to continue, though, real quick with Brian Burns, Compass Insurance. We've been talking about insurance in these fires and reinsurance. So Brian, in Colorado, let's forget about California for a second. In Colorado, because of all the hail disasters, and was 2024 a big one?
Yes. 2024 was a terrible year for hail losses.
How much did the insurance companies lose in Colorado? Do you know that number? Or roughly?
I would have to look up. I just know the carrier that I work with. I'm seeing, running 220, which means for every dollar collected, you paid out $2.20.
Oh my God! So they're literally losing more than twice.
Yes, there's some of the carriers that did, and that's why you saw such an incredible, not terrible, but incredible response last year from insurance companies, where we literally had companies that just said no new business. They wouldn't write anything new, and so people are coming and looking for quotes, and because their rates are going up, and you look around the market, and it was hard to find insurance companies that were offering terms.
And that's the reason Colorado is putting this new, desperate plan together for people that can't get coverage.
Hey, Brian, what percentage of people who got that houses burned down in Boulder rebuild?
So we lost the customers that we write for. We had about 12 people lose homes in the Boulder fire. Thankfully, 8 or 9 of them, and I'm sorry, I don't remember how many exactly, but it was 8 or 9 of them were home insurance policies that either had uncapped replacement cost or 50% or more of extended coverage, and so they all rebuilt. We had, a handful of rental homes where the most you could get is 25% extended replacement cost. And I know that a couple of those never rebuilt because it was just not enough coverage.
So in Colorado, they had all these losses. I mean, if I'm running any business, if I'm running like my Goodyear stores, I couldn't survive, period, if for every dollar or every sale I had, I was paying out $2.20. I mean, it would be insane to run that business. So I assume some of these carriers are pulling out. I mean, what are the options a carrier has? They have to go to the state, you were saying, and basically they've got to ask for a rate increase.
Yes, or coverage changes. So that's why you saw the immediate response was, hey, we are just not writing business, because you have to get approval. You have to go through the process, which takes time to be able to get things changed on the policy going forward. And so their response was just no new business. We're not writing anything new. And then they started working on trying to get changes made to the policies. So people that are
who in Colorado is not writing that you don't deal with anymore for new business?
Well, everybody is coming back into the market now, but there was a period of time where Nationwide didn't write any new business. Travelers limited greatly the amount of business. So did Safeco limited. All of them limited. The only one that I can think of that continued on was a company called Auto Owners. They they just continued to write business, and their policy was already set to where they had a higher wind hail deductible, so they felt they were in a good place to be able to continue to write business.
Yeah, it's really crazy if you think of coverage in this state, and a lot of people know what I'm talking about, but you go back 10, 15 years, if you had a hail claim, I mean, you'd pay your $1,000 and you'd get a brand new roof. Now, most policies, like my own policy right now, I mean, I spent a lot of money on a good roof, hail-proof roof with, one of our referral list members, Excel. But, my deductible now is like, what is it, 2%? I mean, you should know, but it's like 2% of my dwelling. It's huge.
Yeah, I went the route of having a really high deductible as well, just because, and that's what people are seeing when they're seeing the renewals now.
Yeah.
The rate should stabilize a bit. I really believe that, because the biggest problem in Colorado is not the fires. Now that is an issue.
No, it's hail.
But it's hail. By a landslide, it's hail. By the way, you have a 1% deductible. Just look.
Yeah, it's crazy because it happens all the time. Now, it's not like total loss like fires, which are much bigger claims. But man, I mean, these hailstorms will hit and, hit half of Aurora, half of Denver, all of Douglas County. I mean, it's just crazy. I remember when Colorado Springs had one of the biggest hailstorms in the freaking country.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so much money that goes out to fix all this hail. And you're thinking of just the homes, but there's a equal amount of cars getting hit too, and businesses. But I'm saying all the hail damage to cars is, it spikes as well through the summer. So
in California, let me circle back to this. So in California with the fires, my assumption would be a lot of these people, I look at it two ways. One, because everything's burnt down in these areas and other insurance companies had to handle it, or even if you were one that is paying out the big dollars, I mean, the risk of a fire here again is next to nothing because everything's burned. So what do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to pull out? Do you think like State Farm, Allstate? What's your crystal ball?
Well, State Farm did pull out. They were out of California. If you remember, it was last year or maybe even a year and a half ago, something like that, where they were wanting out altogether out of California because they have a specific writing company there in California that was near bankruptcy because they had lost so much money. So they started pulling out of the state. So I was just reading here. It says that that FAIR plan I was mentioning from other insurance companies pulling out, it was up 61% as of September last year.
Oh my
God. That's $458 billion from just a year earlier. So
it's amazing.
Can I ask another question, Brian? Yep. All these people that abandoned their cars and their cars got bulldozed off the road. If they have comprehensive, would that be covered, or because they abandoned it, would that negate the policy?
Yeah, or would anything along those lines negate it?
Yeah, no, there is nothing that would, as far as from running, trying to save their lives.
Yeah, of course.
That would not cause their policies not to.
It's funny though, Doc. Think of how many of those people that didn't have comprehensive. Just liability.
I think most of the people in that area
in Malibu, I would agree.
Comprehensive.
Did you see those videos though? The bulldozers going down the street so the fire trucks could get through.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked like
that would be a collision claim. By the way, it wouldn't be a comprehensive. That would be collision. But the fire would be comprehensive, but something bulldozing through it would be a collision.
That's crazy. Hey, Brian, I really appreciate you coming on, and for everybody out there, there's a reason. We do advertising
and this
for
guy
Brian
knows
Burns.
His stuff.
Oh, he knows his stuff. Not only that, if you use Compass Insurance, they're going to shop every year, find the right coverage. More importantly, make sure you have the proper coverage so your dwelling's covered. Maybe you need garage keepers for a shop. Maybe even workman's comp. If you're sick of paying Pinnacle, these guys can look around. If there's a better option, they're going to tell you. Commercial, residential, they're great people. And unlike most agents, honestly, they're going to help you with the claim. If you do have a claim and you're fighting with them, they're going to get involved and make some calls. 303-996-9000, 303-996-9000. Don, I promise I'll come to you right after this. We do have two lines open, 303 Martino, 303 Martino.
Property.
Commercial or what?
Residential.
Are you? Who'd they put you with?
geez, I think it was that auto company he mentioned on the air. Auto traders or auto.
Who places Lazera? Do you know?
I have no idea.
They seem to be copying my secret sauce. Did you just see the Obama and Trump talking? That was kind of cool. Smiling, laughing it up. It's not on there now. Not laughing it up. I mean, they're at a funeral, but...
I mean, Obama has nothing to lose by hanging out while talking to Trump.
No. He's probably so pissed at Biden, he probably wants to kill him. I hope you never need this guy. Joseph A. Lazari's a criminal defense attorney. You know, he specializes in DUI, too, and does flat rate pricing on it. But I've been talking about him 10, 15 years, and this guy's great, man. We have had so many people that have used Joseph when they get themselves into a bind with the law, and we get emails all the time. Oh, my goodness, I'm so glad I called. I wasn't going to use an attorney. You know, the DA said they'd plead to this. And Joe ends up getting a much better deal for him. If you're guilty and did the crime, well, you know what? You are going to do some of the time, but you might as well have somebody fight for you and get it to the lowest amount possible. And that's Joseph A. Lazare. And then if you didn't do it, if you're innocent and they just assume you're guilty, you can get in front of a judge or jury and fight for you. I mean, this guy does it all. Free consultations, flat rate pricing. Any crime, let's put it this way, and any crime can ruin your life. You need someone on your side. That's Joe. 303-429-6200. Please put it in your phone. You get in trouble. There's someone out there driving right now that I guarantee had a beer or something at lunch, and most likely you're going to need him at some point. So would you please put the number in your phone so you got the right representation? 303-429-6200. Joseph A. Lazara. Genesis Total Exteriors. Mark and the gang, during these cold months, let me tell you what Mark's doing. You're not going to find a better deal. If you need new interior doors, you're sick and tired of looking at those 30, 40-year-old doors inside your house to your bedroom, into the closets, whatever. Right now, this is an unbelievable price. 2 for 1. Buy one, get one free BOGO interior doors. They'll come out. They'll do a free estimate for you. The other thing they do during the winter or the cold months is something wonderful. Hand railings. I'm going to have them come out and give me a bid on them. So we've got this beautiful staircase. It goes up, then we have a landing, then it goes up a different direction, and we have these wood, what do you call them? The balusters, the hand railings. Basically, we're going to get rid of the old oak that we have, and we're going to put in metal. He's going to come in and basically redo the staircase, and all the pickets, all the hand railings is going to be just as beautiful. I don't want to say antique. There's different kinds you can get, but just beautiful metal. It's going to make the entire house pop. I can't wait for him to get out and give us a bid on that. But of course, on the outside of the house, they do everything. He's painted our house. Mark's done so much work for us. He's done some siding work. But anyhow, Genesis Total Exteriors, the 2-for-1 doors is incredible. Just call now. Get it before it goes away. 303-679-8509. 303-679-8509. Or Genesis, as in the beginning, GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
So I have a question. Why do girls wear those kind of gloves when the tips of your fingers are the most susceptible to cold?
The most sensitive.
I'll tell you, hang on just a
Because
second.
she's cool, man.
Because it helps keep me warm, but I can still use my phone. If I just have regular gloves on, I can't use my phone.
I know.
Oh, and you can't tie
Yeah.
it.
But when you go outside, those things are useless, right? They're indoor gloves.
Well, she's
They are
shoveling
useful.
it.
What?
They are very useful.
No, she's saying, no. He's saying if you're outside shoveling, you're not wearing
I'm
those.
not wearing these shoveling. No.
Yeah.
Just like walking outside to the car on cold
Driving.
days like this, they help a lot.
You have to go like that. Because the tips of your fingers are the ones that get cold first.
Yeah, but I'm never outside long enough. If
Okay.
I'm going to be outside long enough
Then
for
you wear
that to
real gloves.
happen, I'd wear real gloves.
Okay.
These just help like in cold rooms
Right,
like
right.
here and in the car. And I get cold easy, Ken.
Yeah, you know why? You have no body fat.
Oh.
Seriously.
Well, that's a compliment. How about
It is a compliment.
Yeah, no, I don't take it as an insult. But
Neither
yeah,
do
I.
I.
But you know, they also say, you
It
know,
was a compliment.
That's why I'm so damn warm. I'm
I get
insulated.
cold. Mark, you have like tons of house spots you didn't do. Can you run through them?
Yeah, I'll do a bunch tomorrow,
Okay.
too. What do I have?
Wave 8, 1.
I did 888.
You
I
did-
did
oh.
2 water pros.
Okay.
I did not do, I'll do a 1 clear choice. I'll do a wave 8 right now.
Wave 8 would be good.
And then next break, I'll do,
Just have it up.
I'll talk about Mackenzie. I'll figure it out. I got 3 left,
Just
or
as long
4.
as you're on it. I don't care. Just as long as you're on it. But I've got like 20 different pairs. I have different colors. I don't know why this isn't coming up. There's someone I know that's a QuickBook expert. Who is that? We can ask. Someone I recently met. Get gloves with... Oh, they don't work that well, Tim, just so you know. Yes, lame-o, I shovel snow. Yes. Yeah, Tim, I have those. I wear them for running. They're not great. That November snowstorm, what? I spent 8 hours in 2 days shoveling.
Oh, my God, that was horrible.
This lamo says, Sue, shoveling snow, question mark, question mark, question mark.
That freaking snow was so heavy. It took me longer than ever to do the driveway. I went through shear pins left and right. It was nuts. I would have been better off just putting the bucket on the front and scooping the snow out instead of trying to blow it.
Yeah, Tim, they're not totally useless, but they're not like great for texting and that kind of stuff. Oh, Lamo's sad that I have to shovel snow. Hey!
You guys know MH, Suze?
Not personally. Wave 8.
All right, 303-713-8255. By the way, I want to tell you something that Tom did. It's kind of remarkable. He created he created Wave 8. And what Wave 8 does, more than anything, is help you grow wealth. You know, a lot of these people out there, these so-called financial advisors, quite honestly, they're not financial advisors. And I'm not kidding. You can even ask yours. What they generally do is just place or buy the products through somebody else, and take a commission. I mean, that's exactly what they do. And basically, that's your money. You could have went direct to the source and do it. So Tom got sick and tired of that. He's a very wealthy man. And he got sick and tired of dealing with people that are basically pass-throughs. So he created his own financial advisor firm. And he's basically changing the way people deal with financial advisors. I mean, now you're going direct. And he's assembled a team. He's gone through, of course, all the classes and jumped through all the hoops. He's been building Wave 8 for years and years now. And he's 100% committed to helping others grow their personal wealth, their retirement, and everything. You just can't go wrong. You give them a call. You talk to them. The phone number is easy, but it's Wave 8 Wealth Management. The website, go check out right now, investwithmartino.com. And it's great, man. The returns have been great. You can learn a lot from the website. Or if you want to sit down and really talk to someone that cares about you growing your wealth, I want you to do it. 303-771-HELP. It's a pretty easy number. 303-771-HELP. Now, someone's got to comment on these fires here. Man, I'm running behind today. 303-713-8255. Don't forget tomorrow's car day. And also don't forget, help@troubleshooter.com. You got any issues? You email us there. We're going to reach out and try to help you. Help@troubleshooter.com. Or don't forget referralist.com, a list of some of the best. You want to check out some of the biggest scumbags around? go to sleazebrigade.com. Now, Don, what's going on with you? What's your comment?
Well, I wanted to talk about the rebuilding of LA. And,
Sure.
I grew up in San Diego. I built a house before I left, and that was back in 92, and it took about a year to get everything through the building department. I can't even imagine what it's going to take these people, the thousands of homes. I mean, we're talking what happened in the Marshall Fire. We're talking like 10, 20-fold.
Oh, I know.
In this,
And not only that, man, the value is so much higher too.
Well, yeah, but this is like Boulder. All of California is like Boulder. So what they're going to do to these people, they're going to make them all do 100% renewable energy houses. They're going to put all these restrictions on all these houses to make it, the climate.
Make it green, baby.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this might be the best thing that could have happened to California, because when these people go through all this, they are going to realize how bad this Green New Deal really is.
See, now, you know what's funny about that? Hey, is Kelly right there? Kelly, yes. He's saying what I was alluding to. The reason I'm talking to Kelly, Don, is because, basically she grew up there. That's her home. That's her home state, man. And she says no matter what, those people aren't going to change. They're still going to vote for the liberals. That was what you were saying, right, Kelly? Even if their house burned down and they're all screwed, you think they're going to stay and they're still going to be the same way.
I would love to say I have faith, but just in seeing what I've seen over the last 30 years, it doesn't look good because of the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state basically drive the politics.
So Don, you really think these people that were affected, and let's face it, everybody in LA is going to be affected because the price of insurance, if you could even afford it now, you might not be able to afford anymore. But you really think these people are going to learn their lesson and get out of there?
I think it's going to take some time. But the big thing, though...
Well, you know what, though? The state... Hold on one second. You made me think of something. I said forever, even in 16, then, of course, in 24, I said Trump's going to win this thing. This pendulum of a country has swung so far left, it has to come back. We are a living, breathing nation that moves on every breath. And I do agree with you now, Don, that I think about this. I think California will eventually get back to the middle, if not swing right.
Well, it did swing a little right this election.
Yeah,
and
it did.
When a catastrophe happens like this, the amount of people that it affects directly isn't near the amount of people that it's going to affect indirectly.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing is all the looting going on right now there. It's crazy. And up until recently, you could basically steal under $1,000 and they wouldn't even blink in California. I don't even think they smacked your wrist.
I think this is going to take, so far it's taken 4 years to get about 75% of the Marshall Fire homes back.
Yep.
This is going to take,
years.
I would say, 15 to 20 years.
All right, man. Don, I do appreciate it. I'm up against the clock. That was a good comment. 303-713. We'll be right back.
And think about what it's going to do to the movie industry and the thousands of people that are employed by the movie industry.
Jack in the Box in probably 4 years. God damn it.
The only good news would be if they burned down the Staples Center. You wouldn't have to play the Lakers.
Yeah, that's
on their home
true.
court.
John Fuller Law, you know, he is Susanna and I's attorney. Simple as that. We've had 2 car accidents where other people have literally destroyed the car. They were totaled, and we've had injuries. Both times, literally both times, he got us the policy limits from the other driver. Every nickel they had in insurance, we ended up with. You want the best attorney out there. You also want an attorney that you deal with a personal approach. You don't want to call one of these guys on the side of a bus or on the trains, and I'll tell you why. You're never going to deal with that person. I'll be damned if you even talk to them. I mean, they're the ones, the face of the business, but the bottom line is you'll be assigned to somebody. You'll be lucky by the time you get your check if that didn't change numerous times, or you'll be dealing with a paralegal, not with Fuller Law. You're going to deal with John. He's going to be the coach. He's going to be the quarterback. He's going to bring you through the case. He's going to maximize it. And then at the end, when he gets all the money for you, guess what he's going to do? He's going to call up the ER. He's going to call up the doctors, the hospitals, anybody that's getting paid, and he's going to negotiate their prices down to put more money in your pocket. You simply want the best. Please put this phone number in your phone if you're in an accident. You can call and talk to them about anything going on when it comes to an accident. 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500, or call Fuller.com. Where am I going to be coming back, sir? "30 seconds.
We have Kevin Culkin in tomorrow, okay?
Culkin!
So you can mention
Well, both come in, or just
that.
Kevin?
Just Kevin tomorrow. Bo, you're welcome to come in. There's one. You want to come in?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to see you, Bo. Doc, you'll be in, won't you?
It's my turn to buy pizza.
It's my turn to buy pizza.
And I'm going to buy it hard because I'm trying to eat this stuff off. Putting the crust on it. I'm doing the
Oh, iHeart.
Culkin diet.
I think it's iHeart's time.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I don't see iHeart buying pizza.
No, that means you guys.
That's not iHeart. I don't
Not
work for
iHeart.
iHeart.
I mean, Troubleshooter.
I bought pizza last time.
Okay.
What'd you say, sir?
Hello, Zach.
Oh. Kelly. She is a liberal Kelly. We should have got her a damn Hillary t-shirt. I voted for Hillary t-shirt. Forget gift
Never
cards.
too late, Mark.
Forget gift cards. Forget cash. We should have got her one of those cutouts.
Yeah, he called.
A full standout. A
Life-size
standout.
They're
Hillary.
waiting for the
A
invoice.
life-size Hillary sex doll. Ooh, you know those have
That'll
some
probably
value.
continue into tomorrow.
So just Jeff Vick's coming tomorrow?
No, just Kevin Culkin tomorrow.
The big cab.
Yeah.
You know why Jeff's not coming in?
Who?
You know why Jeff Vick isn't coming in?
Why is Jeff Vick not coming in, sir?
Because he can't wear shorts tomorrow.
He
can't go out of the house.
That
with
man's
his-
like a UPS driver.
That's right.
So is Dragon.
I
he never
agree.
wears pants.
Are you wearing shorts today, Dragon?
Of course I am.
You are right now.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
wearing,
God.
He's wearing shorts. I pointed it out to Kelly. I'm like, this maniac's wearing shorts today.
It's only 18 degrees with wind chill of negative something.
That's fine. It's not cold yet.
God bless. When would you have you? No, have I ever seen him in fucking pants?
No, you haven't.
Never.
You ever seen him with his pants on?
It's like me on the golf course. I never wear shorts on a golf course.
Why?
I just
100 degrees out, you're wearing
I always
pants.
wear
I got one pair of pants and it goes to my suit, and that suit's for
That
weddings and
sounds like a
funerals.
personal problem.
Someone told me when you play golf, if you look good, you feel good, you play better.
You want to look up.
That's how I'm feeling about pickleball. If I have the
Okay,
right outfit,
I agree with you.
I am going to play like a queen.
Right. When I
We're
play-
going
Yes.
to the drippy pickle.
When I play tennis,
The drippy.
With my outfit, Bo, I will be kicking ass.
with your butt, you'll be kicking ass.
How long am I going to have, Dragon?
Minute, maybe. Yeah, closer to 45 seconds.
Ah, nailed it. You know, I can thank Martino for my timing.
Probably.
I can, honestly.
Were you a MASH fan? Did you watch MASH?
I was too young.
A little bit when I was a kid, but not a lot.
I didn't do
I wasn't like.
It was my favorite show of all time.
Yeah, I did watch it.
Seinfeld. Yep.
I know every episode. So there was this.
I remember the last one for sure.
Yeah. But there was a psychiatrist that always did like cameos. Was the greatest, and he was always very serious. So as he was leaving on the last show, they said, "What can you tell us about the mass shooter?"
And be heard. To Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. Don't forget oneclearchoicedoors.com. Let's say you wake up after this cold and that garage door won't open. Maybe something shifted. Maybe you haven't had a tune-up on it. Maybe you need a new opener. Maybe the entire door needs replacement or you can't get it closed. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They have numerous locations across the Front Range. Chappie, he's the owner of the company, and man, does he do a bang-up job running that. He runs it like a tight ship. In fact, he was a Marine, or is a Marine, I guess, once a Marine, always. And that's the deal, OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Tomorrow's car day. We're going to have a ton going on. Hopefully, we're going to have a good update on this Arapahoe Kia. I'm going to try to reach out to the manager, and hopefully we got some other updates tomorrow. But no matter what, it's car day.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino and stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com. Show the coupon at the pharmacy and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
High interest rates, inflation. People are afraid when they're selling their home, and some brokers are selling them short.
There's a surprising number of home sellers and home buyers who lose money in contract negotiation. They don't even realize it.
That's Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. Frank is a certified negotiation expert.
I will show you how to avoid making these common mistakes and position you to put more money in your pocket at the closing table.
Frank Duran, the realestateman.com, 303-920-1622 with RE/MAX Alliance.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Colorado.
This message presented by the Colorado High School Activities Association and the Colorado Athletics Directors Association.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free. Never sounded so good.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Southern California, Santa Ana winds are projected to flare up in the coming hours again. Fire crews battling multiple wildfires from the ground and once again by air today. The massive fire in Pacific Palisades is still burning out of control. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is on scene.
Dozens and dozens of homes are no longer standing. And I mean, just the depth of the destruction that we're finally seeing, now that some of the smoke has gone away and it's safer to get closer, is just so heartbreaking for so many people.
In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott declaring a state of emergency due to a massive storm. Crews preparing for the potential of flash flooding. That storm also leading to more than 1,700 flights.